Хөрхөн охид trap сонсон. Trap сонсон, trap донсон. Түүний сонсдог хөгжим дур булаан. Дагаж дуулан дур булаа мууруулаа.
Hey, welcome to a brand new MMA Roasted podcast. Me, Adam Hunter. I'm here with the Greg Wilson, CB Gold.
What's up?
The Weendawg is
What's
back.
up, dude?
We got a great show. We got Rashad Evans calling in.
Wow, really?
As well as...
I should have the mic.
You don't even need one. As well as people actually hear you from home.
That's true. Remember that episode where you didn't turn on the mic? You were still able to use the audio?
We also have Jake Ellenberger calling in and Eryk Anders. It's going to be a great show.
What a stacked show.
Stack show. I want to thank our sponsor, Speedweed. Listen, people, marijuana is legal in California, and there is no reason you should have to pay for it, okay? No reason at all. Joe, do me a favor, can you fix the camera a little bit so it's like pointing down towards us, not up? You're the best. So, marijuana is legal in California, okay? You get pizza delivered, you get Chinese food delivered, you get all kinds of stuff delivered. Why not get marijuana delivered? They will come right to you, okay? They have everything. They have edibles, they have vapes, they have flour, they have whatever you need. THC sex lube, okay? They will take care of it. So go to speedweed.com, follow them at Speedweed. Also, I want to thank our other sponsor, Santa Cruz Medicinals, okay? They have some of the best stuff, the best CBD olive oil, CBD vegetable oil. My wife cooks food with it. My day is so much better. You could put it in your coffee. I know Joe puts it in his coffee, right?
Yeah, dude.
You could do all kinds of stuff with it. They are really, really good people, and they got all kinds of stuff. And not only that, they're actually coming out with all kinds of great stuff. They have their new CBD pen, and CBD stuff is just the tits, okay? I'm telling you, I'm looking at their thing right now. You can follow them at Santa Cruz Medicinals. Follow them right now. Their olive oil, it's a perfect gift. But they also have their CBD 5,000 milligram CBD infused MCT oil and 1,000 CBD infused coconut oil, okay? Get them while you still can. They're going to sell out. They always sell out, okay? And their CBD vape pen, they have a strawberry lemonade vape pen. It's perfect on-the-go tool for discreet and fast-acting CBD. And they're dropping a new lavender vanilla cartridges within 1 or 2 weeks. These guys are on fire. They're on fire, okay? So make sure you check them out at Santa Cruz Medicinals on Instagram and scmedicinals.com. And mention Roasted, you get $10 off, $100 or more. That's also with the Speedweed too. So what's going on, guys?
Not much. That was great, man.
Thank you
Awesome.
very much.
Nice.
Appreciate it. Happy Thanksgiving. I didn't see you guys
Yes,
Thanksgiving.
that's right. That was fun.
I went to my wife's families. They're from Fresno, and
Right.
they have this thing like they have the cabin in the woods.
And they don't like you, right?
They love me.
Oh, they love you. That's what it is. I knew it was one or the other.
You're thinking of your family.
That's
Okay,
what it was.
so they
My immediate family, the ones that are supposed to love me, yes.
So they have this cabin in the woods that's just amazing. But they're like big Trump supporters.
Oh,
they have
yeah.
guns.
Nice.
And their grandfather actually was moving his gun. I didn't even know this is the thing, that people, when they leave their house, they keep their guns above their beds, and that's where robbers know to go. So he was moving his gun from the bed to the safe, and he fell off the stool. And I was like, see, guns are dangerous.
That's right. Well, there you go. Anti-gun commercials made itself.
It's just funny though, but it's funny the way that like things happen. Like also
Because you're too old to store it properly.
They also had this crazy thing where like so we're going to the bed, me and my wife, and then we look under the pillow and there's dog food under the pillow. I'm like, oh, this is kind of weird.
Like wet food or dry food?
Dry food.
Obviously.
Okay.
So what happens is they say
You
that,
imagine
like,
it was wet food, and then you're like, is that vomit? Is that what
that's
is
why
that?
I asked. Could be way worse situation.
well, what happens is mice store dog food in like warm places. So there was a mouse in the bed that was taking the dog food and moving it to underneath the pillow. This is like a known thing. Like I was like, really?
I didn't know that.
Neither did I.
It was known to people who live in the country
Yeah.
where they have mice and things like
Right.
that.
But I was like, wow, that's a pretty damn amazing, right? I mean, that's...
For the mouse, not so amazing for you.
we fixed the sheets and fixed
Yeah, exactly. For
So,
you got to do some
But
Were you uncomfortable for like the rest of your stay?
no, I was like entertained by it.
That's like all I would be thinking about. Like at nighttime, it's like, dude, there's like rats running around this room. Right
Exactly.
now, dude. I can't
Listen,
sleep.
Let me tell you something. I went to do the Big Bear Comedy Festival up there in Big Bear Lake, and they put us in like these cabin rooms.
Yeah.
You know, they weren't like really. It was still kind of like a hotel complex, but everything was kind of like outdoors, like your doors to the outdoors. And there's trees and cabin area and all this. So we're coming back between shows to my room because I had a bottle of Jack Daniels and probably some cocaine. And so we're going back to my room, right? And I open the door, and as I walk into the room, like it's totally normal, and then the guy behind me, Key Lewis, another comedian, is like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And I'm like, what? I turn around and he goes, Wilson, you're lucky you're so short. Because I had walked right under a spider the size of a silver dollar.
Wow.
That was coming down on a fucking thing. Now he starts flicking this fucking spider, right? And the spider, and now it's just spinning and getting angry. Just like, and finally he smacks it one last time, but he doesn't kill it. He just sends it off into the patio area. Now I'm like, you realize this fucking spider's coming for revenge.
Maybe it wanted some of your cocaine.
Probably that's probably what kept him
Sounds
going.
like it already had some.
Oh my, dude, this guy all night long I couldn't sleep because I kept thinking about this fucking spider coming for revenge.
It's your hotel room now.
It might have bitten you. And then you got special powers. You can like
Right.
shoot webs and stuff, and like Greg Wilson, Spider Coke Man.
So
It only works at like
all he has to do is snort his magic powder. And all of a sudden, he's got incredible
only
powers.
fights crime from like 2 a.m. to like,
From 2 to 7 a.m. And then he's got to call this guy. Maybe there's a late morning shift. Probably not, though.
So, Weendawg, you've been filming a movie
Yeah, dude.
in the desert.
For a month.
What happened? What's
Look
going
at him.
on?
He's all skinny now and shit from it.
I'm ripped.
Hold on, go a little closer.
I'm
so the camera
ripped?
can see
I don't
you.
know about ripped.
Jack.
So what happened in this movie? What's going on here?
Well, I can't talk too much about it. There's some confidential information.
Isn't it a student film?
Yeah. But
But listen, they think they made genius Coppola shit here,
when
right?
you say it's just me.
Oh, it's just you? I thought you had...
Yeah.
I thought you were putting us in it.
So
you
wait a minute.
asshole.
So
It's
you
not like
signed
a
a
movie.
confidentiality agreement with yourself?
Yeah, I just don't want too much information to get out there, Since a lot of people listen to this podcast.
Weendawg, you hereby agree with yourself to not tell people shit, okay, man? You're
Yeah.
going through this.
You know to make it proper. He signed one as Joe Perez and one as Weendawg. There's two different.
That's right.
signatures.
Yeah.
And here's the other thing: the contract has stipulations. If he tells us too much, he can't masturbate for a week.
Yeah.
So
There
what
are
was your movie
penalties.
about?
Well, it's like a documentary type thing.
On what?
It's about this blind gentleman he's a friend of mine. He's like 50 years old. He's been blind his whole life, and he decided to walk from Long Beach, California, all the way to Las Vegas, Nevada, on foot, and he's 100% blind. So they needed.
So you played the blind kid.
No, is this a true story?
Yeah, no, this happened. I was with them.
This really happened?
Yeah,
This guy walked from.
Long Beach
How
to
long
Las
did it take
Vegas. A month.
Wow.
So they just needed somebody to come film it and make a documentary.
Now, people holding his hands while he was crossing the street or something?
Yeah, pretty much.
I have to
but-
say, at least he picked a really straight. I mean,
Yeah.
you just kind of, it's one road if you
Yeah.
think about it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Really, all they had to do was set him on the edge of the pavement.
But I can't go into too many details about what happened on the trip. But I can just say that, I had a couple drinks, saw a couple things on this trip, man.
What did you see?
He saw a blind kid
No, he's a grown-ass man.
blow
Did
him.
the blind
He saw a
guy
blind
know
guy
he-
blow
Did the
him.
blind guy know he was going to Vegas? He was going to the store, and then you just took him to Vegas.
Well, I kept telling him that entire time. I was like, we can just put him on a treadmill, dude, for like 30 days, and he won't know anything. We'll play some like slot.
And you can
sound
say
machine.
that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can say that.
I
But,
had some drinks and I saw some things.
I'm
Reminds you
trying
of
to
the
find
I
an
feel
early
like
way
a
out.
lot of it happened around Zizix.
Oh, that fucking street.
That street, Zizix.
Who
I'm
named
sure.
that street?
I don't know. They were just
Yeah.
fucking around. I don't think
Yeah.
they ever thought anybody'd see it.
Oh, I know, because we passed Zizix, and what happened is, as like a cult leader, he wanted him. He's like a super rich billionaire dude. He wanted like his own, like Heaven's Gate type area, or what's the Jim Jones dude?
Yeah.
He wanted his own compound out there.
Yeah.
So he made Zizix Road. That's part of his cult. It leads up to the top of this mountain where
Is
people.
anybody else in the cult or just him?
Is this one of those things you learned while on this walk?
Yeah, I learned that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, listen. This is what happens when you have to wait on a blind guy
Wait, now, did
to
you-
walk to Vegas. Like,
Did
left, motherfucker.
Did
Yeah,
you
like, I
walk
guess
with
I'll
them?
just I'm gonna go up there and see what that sign says right now.
So you
I'll
didn't
be
drive
back
at
in.
all.
I did a lot of driving because there was this is only a 3-man crew. It was me, the dude who was helping him walk, and then the blind guy himself. And I'm driving. I'm doing a bunch of like.
You're the camera guy.
I'm the camera guy. I'm the PA. I'm the director. I'm the AD.
You know, Southwest is like $80 for a ticket.
Yeah, yeah, man.
$6.69.
69.
Want to get away?
But it was rough being gone for so long. I really, it sucks, dude.
Yeah. Now,
And-
did it rain at all, or was it like too hot?
No,
or-
it was perfect weather pretty much the entire time. A
Did
few
you get
days.
stuck in like a sandstorm or something? Though?
I was stuck in a sandstorm, but
Yeah.
you know what? It's
Paid
no
way
big
too
deal.
much attention.
You know?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I mean, I saw a couple.
Now, what about at
things.
night? You stayed at hotels at
and-
night?
Only like 2 nights we did. Only a
It
couple
must have been
nights.
tough to still not have sex with your girlfriend for a month.
It's dude. You know what? I found ways to get it out.
I'm
dude,
sure you did.
on this trip. I found
Listen, you had
Not
drinks
like the blind
yourself.
guy knew what was going on. He just had to make any fucking noise.
But you
Tell
know
the blind guy
bli-
that you were a girl, and then like
Why
have
is the
him.
sleeping bag shaking?
No, but since it is No Nut November, I say, you know what? It's perfect. I don't want to be jerking off.
No
with
Nut November.
Yeah, you don't know about No Nut
is some
November.
Is this
Stupid ass.
also in your agreement not to tell anything? Like you're like, otherwise it's No Nut
It, like, got
November.
made up or whatever. It's like the new no shave November.
Yeah.
That's enough. Now guys can't have sex with women
but
during
you also
November.
have no nut January, no nut.
Oh,
February.
that's what I'm saying. I was like, how is it different from every other month of the
Yeah.
year?
No,
but
but
it
18.
could be for jerking off too. It just means you can't come in this whole month.
Oh,
That's
okay.
the whole thing.
Think about it. That's going to be more fun, though. You're just doing it, and you're like, listen, I can't come.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got to do it, but then I got to slow down.
I lasted about.
We got to
week.
take a break and
A
eat a
week?
sandwich.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I'm like, I gotta go, guys. I'll be back in 5 minutes.
And then he looked.
What'd you go behind a rock
Actually
and-
2 hours.
Yeah. Where did you masturbate?
He probably went like this.
No, man, that's pretty. That's pretty. It's pretty.
You'll
close
need the
to
video
happening.
component of the podcast to enjoy that last.
Of course. Now, where did you?
Masturbate.
Yeah.
A lot of bathrooms, gas station bathrooms, and
Oh my god!
yeah. There's. I didn't.
How
take,
did you not get arrested during any of this?
Oh, we
you're
came
what-
close many
I-
The
times.
blind guy didn't see anything. Sorry.
Yeah. I came close many times.
How's it
to
going?
getting arrested.
How's it going? How's it going?
Yeah.
The blind guy didn't see it. Blind guy didn't see anything.
And we were out there in the desert for like a whole week straight. Remember, I was texting him like, "Dude, there's no Wi-Fi signal. We're in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
no signal. You can't call nobody. You can't.
No,
text
it's true. It's that
nobody."
way when you drive through it. It's
Yeah.
amazing to me that it isn't. I figure whichever company establishes perfect signal along that route, they're going to get fucking a lot of customers out of the LA market.
Yeah.
Because everyone knows it's completely dead. You lose all your shit.
The only way to do it is one of those like mobile broadband cards that like is having cell phone service, but it plugs into your laptop. Like nobody does that anymore. That'd be the only way.
Thanks, CB.
This has been your tech moment.
And, all right. How was your Thanksgiving?
Mine was great, man. We actually were here, so that was fun.
You do any shows?
Yeah, on the weekends I did. Yeah,
Haha.
yeah, the ha.
I did a ha
I feel
last
like I
night.
did something else
It was
too. I
Night
can't remember
Satara
what it
show.
was.
It was like all feminists. A feminist.
Perfect for
women's
you.
group.
Oh yeah,
They looked at me like I was a devil.
I'm sure they hated you.
No, I won them over. Once they realized that I didn't care,
Yeah.
then I was fine. But I had to get to the point where I didn't care. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, rather than you do a joke, you commentate, do a joke, commentate. Fuck it. I'm just doing my material whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
I went along for the ride.
That's great.
But, 20 years into it, the things you learn. And CB, what's going on with you?
Not much, man. Thanksgiving was good. Got the whole fam together. Other than that, just been working.
You shaved your mohawk
Yeah, it started to look like a mullet, so I decided today to shave my head.
today.
Yeah,
And
this
it-
morning.
All right.
It looks very smooth. You
Yeah.
do look like
a
a
serial
master
killer.
of the dark arts.
I mean,
Like if you just put like a black
right?
robe on
a little
him.
eyeliner, a little bit of eyeliner,
Yeah.
and this guy is Rasputin.
Yeah.
You definitely, you know
don't
what?
even
You've got to
understand
start
that
wearing
reference.
monk's robes. You got to wear monk's robes and
I
eyeliner.
get enough
just like-
weird looks walking down the street. You think that's going to
Yeah,
help
but
the
then
situation?
it's because you look unique. Right now, it's just because you're not that good looking.
No, I know. I'm ugly as fuck.
Well, you know what you could do? You can
Nah,
just
you're a
cover
guy.
yourself in white powder or white paint. You'd be Kratos, God of War.
There it is.
Yeah.
By the way, I had the worst audition last week. I tell you about.
You know why?
Why?
You're a terrible actor.
Thank you. You're a dick.
I'm kidding. I'm just joking, man. Obviously, that's not true. Nobody knows. We've never seen you in anything.
You're an asshole. That's not true. I've been in a couple things.
couple
Okay,
things.
so but anyway, so it was a DirecTV commercial, and it was a guy and girl. And I hate when you have to audition together. Sometimes. So
Yeah.
It was all this copy. The night before I stayed.
I've ruined auditions for other people. That's true.
Well, this girl comes in, and she's like, "I'm sorry, I don't speak English," right? And she's got all this fucking copy.
And so it begins.
Right off Italy, right off the boat, Italy. She's like, "Oh, in Italy, I was a big actress, and I met Guy, and now he had 3 kids."
His name
and
Greg Wilson.
Oh,
he told me, "You stay with me in my house."
so we're supposed to be a married couple, right? So we sit down to rehearse. She puts her feet on me. I'm
Nice.
like,
Well, you're a married couple.
yeah, but that was a commercial.
With a foot
audition,
fetish,
DirecTV,
supposedly.
Yes.
It didn't say sit down on the couch, put feet on Guy. Like,
But it's little touches like that that make it natural.
okay, so I was like, all right, we'll do that. Right then, she's like, I'm sorry, I don't know how to read. So then, like, she's
Oh
trying to
my
read the
God.
copy. It was a 1-minute audition turned into 12 minutes in the room. Right.
Of
Then
her trying to figure shit out.
We're supposed to improvise, right? And then it was like, oh, DirecTV, refer your friends and family. Then she's like, I have no family. My mom, I have my grandma, but she's dumb mute. And then like it's going this like stupid like bad improv.
Oh.
It was just one of those.
Imagine
things.
6 months from now, you're watching TV and a commercial for DirecTV comes on and it's her and she's a new
probably
spokeswoman.
gonna get
And
it.
don't think that hasn't happened.
Yeah.
Because shit like that does happen.
Yeah.
You know, for all we
100%.
know, when she was leaving the room, she threw the director, the whole, I suck, I love to eat dick, and my favorite.
Now she's a new Flo.
And there you go. Well, I don't think she did that, but.
Where did you meet Flo? You met Flo.
Yeah. And that's a union job, so.
Is she like a billionaire?
She is. She's a multi-millionaire.
Wow, that's crazy, dude.
She's been doing it for like 10 years. I asked her, I said, do you even know how many commercials you've done? And she goes, no, but I think it's between 300 and 400.
Wow.
She a cool person?
Oh, very sweet. The coolest.
Nice,
Total,
nice.
awesome professional, awesome to work with.
She's single?
Absolutely. No, she's married, kids,
Oh,
the whole thing.
Never mind.
So let's talk about the fight.
Never mind. Oh, let me hook you right up. Let me
he's
give
looking
it.
for the
Oh,
blind
hey,
guy.
hey, Flo. You looking to take care of some kid? He hasn't busted a nut in 3 weeks.
He has a best friend that's blind, so.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the fight of the wrong century.
Oh, my
Okay,
God.
Oh, no.
Tucker, it was the battle of the decade. Okay, listen. Here's the thing. I said this was gonna happen. I said this is I've met Chuck Liddell on many occasions, and you see the guy, and he does not look like the same Chuck Liddell.
Right.
That won. I mean, you see all the wear and tear on
Right.
him, and you're like, no way, this is not a good idea.
Yeah.
But of course, people are like, no, it's gonna make money. De La Hoya should be ashamed of himself. People should be ashamed of themselves. This was not a good idea. We don't want to see this. Now, I'd rather see him fight Tito than fight some young upstart,
Jones.
fucking Yoel Romero or something.
Dude.
But
Yeah.
what are we doing here? Why are we doing this? I mean, what do we have to prove? I understand maybe people are, well, Chuck needs money. People are like, he needs money. He lives in Calabasas. He made more money than fucking most of the people in the UFC ever. How much money does he need?
Yeah.
I
Well,
mean-
that's the thing. Listen, it doesn't matter how much you got. You can go through it.
Of course you can.
So, I mean, you start looking at you're like, hey, yeah, you know what? I could use $3 million more.
But
Then
what-
all of a sudden it's fucking worth it.
Now, do you think it was sad? Now, do you think Tito, because he celebrated like he just won the World Series, and
Yeah.
like, and then somebody said, "Hey, man, you could have, at the end of the, Muhammad Ali's life, you could have propped him up and knocked him out, but that doesn't mean you beat Ali. But at the same time, look,
But technically it does.
and Chuck did sign up for it, so
Totally.
you can't really get mad at Tito for it.
But you know what? I just was like, man, I hope everyone that paid for this feels fucking stupid. Okay? The whole thing was a stunt. It was stupid from beginning to end. And you got what you paid for. There you go. That's what you get. 30 seconds of two guys fucking avoiding each other, followed by one punch.
Well, dude, my freaking stream cut out right before the main event, right before they fought. My stream just went dead.
I got news for you. You didn't miss anything.
Well, it was one of those things where I knew that was going to happen. I told everyone that was going to happen. Anybody that texted me and said, it's not going to be good.
That Glendale High School fight was better than this one.
What was that?
Any world star hip hop fight is better.
No, I mean, it was one of those things where, I mean, it was great for jokes. I was making jokes about it. People were liking the jokes, but I didn't even want to make those jokes. You could watch it on the History Channel, or the corner was the Three Wise Men, and the referee was going to be Tom from MySpace. I mean, it was a lot of jokes to be made about this event.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to make those events at what cost?
Yeah.
And I wasn't making fun of jokes about him afterwards. I didn't after he got knocked out.
Although, if you think about it, though, this is the formula. Bellator did the same exact thing.
They weren't this old.
They
But
Bellator didn't take
just because
this
they
one.
did it like 7 years ago. So they were this age minus 7 years.
I know,
They
but-
did the same thing, which is get the old guys, get some notoriety, and get it, and then
there were other guys that were old that could have been in there. Even like the Tom Lawler, who I don't know if he's in his prime right now. He's a little past his prime, but he's a great fighter. But that guy that beat him, Darren Wynn, I was happy for that kid. That kid's good. Undefeated wrestler. But then again, I'm like, well, would I have watched Darren Wynn fight if this wasn't on the Tuxedo undercard?
No.
But there were other fights he could have made. I mean, they gave, what, $250,000 to Chuck, $200,000 to Tito, and they got a percentage of the pay-per-view. You could have divvied that amongst and give it to other people and had some solid fights in there. And you're like, oh, Golden Boy's got some good guys.
See,
You know?
I don't know if that's true because, I mean, you're talking about guys leaving, if you're talking about good guys, you're talking about good guys that are on on already established league. You would take a lot more money than that to lure them away from that. And
No,
be
you
like,
wouldn't.
I think
guys
so.
aren't. A lot of these guys are making 50 and 50 who are really good.
But have name value. See, that's what it comes down to.
Yeah, they have name value.
Fucking
But if you're
name
giving them,
value.
But if you're giving them pay-per-view percentage points, which their whole model is like percentage of pay-per-view, then
you gotta have big names. You gotta have people that somebody's gonna pay to see.
I don't know. Here's what Dana White said about the event. Dana
Well,
White
this should
went
be-
off today. He said, listen, I love Chuck Liddell. I don't ever want to badmouth Chuck Liddell or people who remotely think I'm badmouth Chuck Liddell. Let's say it first. I heard last week that cokehead De La Hoya is talking shit that I don't have any place to tell guys when to retire. First of all, it's called friendship, you fucking cokehead. I've been friends with Chuck Liddell for 20 years. So this is true. I don't know.
So wait a minute, De La Hoya's a cokehead because he just went up a few notches in my book.
Oh, he's been in like rehab. He's had
nice.
problems for that. The reality is Chuck Liddell's retired when he should have 8-9 years ago, however long it was. Chuck Liddell's almost 50 years old. No business fighting anymore. The fact that the state of California even let the fight happen is disgusting. Chuck Liddell has an incredible legacy. Huge superstar in the sport. Of course, as a friend, anybody who claimed to be a friend of Chuck Liddell, and if anybody was anywhere near this fight is full of shit. They're not a friend of Chuck Liddell. Let him go in there and fight this fight. Terrible. And then he said, the problem is Chuck Liddell's a fighter. Chuck Liddell loves to fight. That's his passion. He loves what he loves. But there comes a day and age, fighting is a young man's game. You can't do it. And De La Hoya says, come over to Golden Boy. We respect the fighters. It makes me sick that these fighters were paid all this shit. White said, out of 14 bouts in the card, 5 bouts were amateur fights, which means he didn't pay them jack shit. 12 of the professional fighters in the card made less than $3,000 and $3,000. What the fuck are you talking about, you cokehead junkie? Some of the guys in the card made $1,000 to fight and $1,000 to win. You know what? He respects the fighters so much, he could even remember the fucking names of the press conference. He did say Chuck Liddell.
Well, it's not a sport.
And then he says, you guys want to get... Then Tito and De La Hoya were made for each other. These fucking nutheads. First of all, Tito says, you guys want to get paid? Come over to Golden Boy MMA. Are you kidding me? With a couple months, the whole thing... Wait till the couple months it all pans out. Everybody's going to be suing everybody. There's no money made over there. De La Hoya's a fucking moron. Absolute moron. I don't know. Chuck allowed himself to talk to this stupid shit. And then I guess he snorted a ton of cocaine and Google him. I think he snorted a ton of cocaine and doing a lot of other shit. Shouldn't even be involved in this. So he keeps going on about, And I think he's got a point.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Well, he's not wrong. All of his points are right.
yeah, but look, I don't know, man. Some people were sticking up for it. It was not my cup of tea.
There's not really much to stick up for. It was kind of an embarrassment to the sport. I mean, I wanted to make jokes of like, they don't need a slow-mo replay because the entire fight was in slow motion.
Yeah,
And
but it was funny to see to make it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, next time go with, if you think not to do it, do it.
Okay.
And if you think I should definitely do it,
Don't do it. No, it was embarrassing to watch. I mean, I'm a huge Chuck Liddell fan, but like, what we're watching a 50-year-old man who might already have early signs of CTE, just like he couldn't throw a jab to save his life. What happened to the old Liddell? They're showing promos and stuff. He's landed 40 shots on Tito before somebody stops it. It was an embarrassment, and the saddest thing about it was the one man who cornered Chuck Liddell in every other MMA fight of his life, John Hackleman, the guy that trained him, said, I want nothing to do with this. I love Chuck, but I don't agree with this. And even afterwards says, you could be the best fighter in the world. You could think you still have it. But if you have no chin, it's going to be a long night for you.
Or short night.
Yeah, pretty much,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, no, it was.
And that's Hackleman.
That was hard to watch. It was hard to watch, and look, I'm all for De La Hoya getting in to fight promotion. Like he's got.
Exactly. He's got a
name.
promotions company. This is something he already does in the boxing world.
But Golden Boy MMA, they put up and coming prospects on there. I mean, they're not putting Larry Holmes versus Butterbean on there right now.
I think it was clear where their money went. And that
It went
was
all
the
to
lighting.
Oh.
That lighting was insanity.
lighting?
Dude, the fucking stage lights going nuts the entire fucking thing. I mean, they put Bellator. I thought Bellator overproduced These motherfuckers went bonkers with the lighting.
But I'm just saying they could actually. There are young guys or good guys or even guys that like need leagues or whatever that would be great for this. So give those guys.
You're gonna tell me, yeah, like guys that we like too, like David Rashad
or Mike Pierce, or there are guys that if you want to,
they don't sell tickets.
The thing is, but
I don't know those dudes.
This is
but the money that they spent on Chuck and Tito,
someone's still got to be the name to anchor
but they
the
spent
show.
$500,000 on those two guys alone.
They
Right?
weren't selling pay-per-views any other way.
Those two guys, and you build a brand. You get you get an Olympian. You get a guy, a kid. You get Kayla Harris. You get people that like you can get excited for and seeing them grow. Or you get a person that's on top of their game. That you get not a McGregor, but a McGregor type. You get an MVP out there, or somebody like that, an undefeated cat who people maybe is kind of getting lost in the shuffle, and make him the poster boy. Yeah, I mean Sage Northcutt just left the UFC. You put Sage in there. I mean, there are guys that they're not going to do the numbers that De La Hoya, that whatever did, but you don't have to do it.
But that's what they need. That's business.
I don't know if that's.
It isn't about the fans. It's about the sales.
There are other companies that not every company that starts a fight promotion does it with guys that are 50 years old past their prime.
Yeah, but he's trying to jump right out into the thick of it. He's jumping into the deep end of the pool. He's not trying to build it. He's not trying to develop talent. He's trying to just jump out there and be a promotions company.
Okay, so let's say you do like an 8-man tournament, and you take Chuck and Tito's purse. $500,000, a one-night 8-man tournament. You'll get some good fucking names in there.
But
Battleground did it.
Yeah, that's not
it didn't last, but it was.
Might not be the
it was
example.
entertaining to watch. This Golden Boy MMA is this decade's Affliction. Because when Affliction, the only difference is, but no, it is worse. The only difference is Affliction lined the card with huge names. The main event, yes, Fedor, Tim Sylvia, two recognizable names. Undercard, Matt Lindland, Josh Barnett, Vitor Belfort.
And then they had a Megadeth concert in the middle of the event. Which is weird.
But you know what? They didn't last.
Pretty awesome.
Golden Boy.
How did this not take off?
Golden Boy needs to anchor.
Timing. I think at that time, UFC had a stranglehold on the market, and they had all the really big names. I think when Bellator came along, a lot of those big names had retired. Their thing had watered down a bit, and I think they left the door open for Bellator at that time.
Well, Bellator established their own names. That was the other thing. They established guys like Ben Askren and Hector Lombard and Eddie Alvarez. In the grassroots of Bellator, MVP. Nobody was paying attention.
Yeah.
But you go into, let's say, even after like the 50s and 60s of the Bellator events, that's when you start to get names, and now they're picking off different names from other organizations.
But it's obviously, Chuck Liddell's, and that's what Dana said too, is that he's messing up the guy's name. He didn't even know the guy's name. If you're saying Chuck Liddell,
it's enough already.
You obviously don't care about the sport. And then,
cocaine dries out the roof of your mouth sometimes, and you just mispronounce stuff. It's very common, actually.
I heard they're trying to do Chuck Liddell versus Don Fry.
No.
No, I'm just kidding.
Really?
No, Chuck said if he won a
Look at
Rampage.
you just threw out two names you knew would beta ready. Yeah. What?
Yeah.
Get Don on the phone. Get Don on the Skype right now.
Chuck said if he beat Tito, he wanted Rampage next. And I'm like, no, like, you don't want that headache again. Like, Rampage isn't exactly in shape, but he's still been fighting. He's still been fighting, and that was the difference. Chuck looked decent at the weigh-ins.
Come on.
No.
Betty Page joke? How many people are doing Betty Page jokes right now?
Nobody, and I think that proves the point.
No, I'm original. All right, so UFC China.
Did anybody actually watch it? Did you watch it?
Not live.
No, not live, dude.
Not live at 3:00 in the 3:30 in the morning.
I thought it was regular time. I woke up. I'm like, oh, sweet, it's fight day. I check my Instagram. I get all the fights immediately spoiled because they happen.
Dude, they spoiled everywhere. You have to. If there's a fight, people text me the results, and I go, please stop. And then you can't go on Instagram. You can't go on Twitter. I went on Waze, and it was like, make it right. Just like the right that knocked out. I'm like, all right, this is
good one.
They fuck with you all the time. They have to stop with this.
3:30 in the fucking morning Pacific time till like 7 a.m. Who the fuck is up for this?
I tried but then I fell asleep after one.
Couldn't do it. I couldn't even make it to the prelims.
But I'll tell you, Overeem looked great.
He surprisingly did. Was he so good, or was the other guy so bad?
It was a squash match.
The other guy beat nobody.
That's what I'm saying.
It was a squash fight.
Right. I was totally. I was like, this looks like he's supposed to beat this guy pretty bad.
He was undefeated though.
What, 1-0?
No, he was like 10-0. But he just had.
They fed him to Overeem. I like that Overeem wants Derek Lewis now, and I'm like,
Oh, he'll get eaten alive. He didn't look that
I don't
good.
know. If Overeem throws those body kicks and Derek Lewis happens to have to take a shit, we might have a problem.
That's actually I don't know who wins that fight.
I think it's a good. I think it's a
honestly,
great matchup.
He looked kind of youthful. He looked okay. He didn't look as
Depends
bad.
on how hot Derek's balls are.
Hey, nah.
So and then Ngannou, man.
Fuck, dude.
Now I said that. I said on this podcast, do not give up on Ngannou. I said everyone's saying he's out.
Your boy though.
Curtis Blaze, motherfucker.
But that was the weirdest thing because it looked like he came over with a crazy wild right and didn't even hit him. Like he missed
Kind
him.
of glanced off the top of his head.
Watch it again, but I think the jab hurt him. The jab at the same time, he was like throwing like the jab. I think hurt him first. If you watch it, because it looks like he didn't touch him. I was like, did he just take a dive? Like, but then I go, okay, I think the jab is what actually knocked him out. But that's how hard Ngannou hits. But Curtis Blades, man, talk about bad luck.
I was going to say, okay, so was it an early stoppage or not? I didn't think so. I really didn't, because he was getting repeatedly hit in the head, and he was sort of not really defending himself.
I just don't like when a fight ends like that and the guy that's getting beat on immediately jumps
stands up and is like,
goes,
"What is that about?"
I'm fine. And you're like, fuck, now we have to discuss this of whether it was or was not. But at the same time, did he really want to get pummeled another 5 to 10 by Ngannou?
Honestly, I kind of think it was an early stoppage. And this one, just because it didn't look like he was getting hit clean. It kind of looked like he was getting hit in the back of the head. His equilibrium was off. He didn't know where he was. But this dude, Curtis Blades, is a beast. And I do think it was an early stoppage. Now, would Ngannou won if you take my betting odds from that point on? Yes. I do think it was early. But also, it was a weird stoppage. It was a it was a weird stoppage. And I do think it was a little early.
When he first kind of went out for a second, when he first got knocked down and he was kind of out for 1 second, he was about to jump in right then. He was about to stop it right then, but then he recovered so fast, you're like, oh no, he's okay. And then he backed off, but then he was in this weird moment of, should I have stopped this already?
I think it was,
and I think that played into it when he was getting smacked.
I think it was an early stoppage, and I also think that sometimes, like talk to fighters all the time, where they get knocked out and then the next punch wakes them back up. It might have been a situation with that. But it's also weird sometimes, like the opposite of that is when I think it's an early stoppage, the ref stops to fight, and the guy doesn't complain at all.
Right.
That sometimes also baffles me, where it's like everyone else thinks it's, and the guy's like, oh, okay, well, maybe he's that tired, or he's more hurt than it seems like. But I've seen that happen before.
It's not like the old days when, like, Robbie Lawler got knocked out by Nick Diaz and he ran around the cage for 10 minutes going, I'm not done, like, start it up. And they're like, no, dude, you were out.
Oh, yeah. Well, sometimes you see the guy tackle the ref. Or,
that one's my favorite. I've seen John Fitch do that a few times.
Yeah, they just grab the leg because they think
you're like,
it's like you're out. Yeah, you're grabbing a panted leg right now. So
yeah, and they don't notice either. They continue to take down.
I got a leg. Just hold on to the leg. Drag him down.
Hey, you got to give it to him though. Keep fighting though. That's a fighter.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right,
the instinct. That's how strong that instinct is at that point. Is that they're still defending themselves even though they're completely unconscious.
I'll tell you who looked great. Who I was most impressed of them all was Weili Zhang beat Jessica Aguilar.
Oh yeah,
made it look easy. And
Jessica's. Did you see her pre-fight picture where she was grinning like ear to ear? It was pretty.
But Jessica Aguilar was a great fighter.
But then she came out and looked tough.
She was like this other girl is like now 17
she
and
cracked
1.
her head open real. The bleeding was all over the place. Man, that was crazy.
She made it look easy.
Yeah.
And I don't know who this girl is, because sometimes you see 17 and 1, you're like, well, who's this person beat in Asia and yada yada. This girl's the truth. Weili Zhang. And then there was somebody had a funny name. What was the funny name? Everyone was making jokes about it. There was somebody on the card that was like something that we would like. It was like Weendawg or something.
Yeah. Oh no. Maybe that was the guy.
No, you're right. It was Weendawg song.
Weendawg song.
That's Cisco's new hit.
That's pretty great.
Weendawg song. That's bad too. Look at you.
Yeah.
All right. So
dong 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 dong. Who was the guy though? Did you see the guy that was the Kung Fu Monkey? What was that guy's name?
The Kung Fu Monkey?
He beat the other Latino. I only watched the Latino ones to try and support the Latinos, and they both got beat.
Oh my! Wait. So now they're saying Ostovich.
She's back in.
She's back fighting Paige Van Zandt.
Yeah, she's back in.
Nice.
Really?
A lot of people are asking if this is a wise decision on her part to come back that quickly.
She just got beat up by her boyfriend.
Well, that is true.
He got arrested.
Oh yeah, that
Going to
business.
jail for life.
Not anymore.
What?
They dropped it to second-degree assault instead of second-degree attempted murder, and he's already out. He posted a $75,000 bail. He's back on the streets.
Wow.
So is she single?
I was waiting for
I think
it.
it was Weendawg. Was he the one
not
that they
even
were called?
single.
I know, but the fans want to know.
because he beat Vince Morales. I think that was the guy I was talking about. Was Weendawg?
Weendawg.
Yeah, I think he was the one that he called himself the Kung Fu Monkey. That guy was fat. He looked really great.
I really wanted to make a joke because somebody put, "Is it too early for Rachel to come back?" And I didn't want to tweet it because I thought it was a little bit classless.
Let's hear it,
but you
dude.
guys can tell me. I was gonna say, if Ostovich didn't get knocked out by her husband, Paige can't knock her out.
I wouldn't put that
Don't-
publicly.
don't-
Yeah, I'm not. But like,
Delete that from
unfortunately, that was like
cut
the
that
first thing I
from
thought about.
everything.
Like,
Keep it. So I was saying not to. It's
Okay.
good. It's actually good. Yeah, right now you gotta look at.
I know.
I don't know.
I just
think,
don't like.
in the-
Most people are looking at that fight for the eye
Censored
candy
comedy. This
instead of
is
the
what we
actual
live in.
Well, it's
fight.
not that great of a joke though. Either. And, like, if
It
you're
really
gonna,
isn't.
If you're
Yeah,
gonna do like a really,
it's really got to
Oh, I
hit.
know.
It's got to
I
be
know.
funny.
It's got-
It's got to be worth it to you. At least debate whether or not you're mad at it.
right,
If it's not funny, then you're like, bad lamb, you suck.
right, of course.
I think more people are interested in the weigh-in for that fight
Oh
than
my
the actual
God.
fight.
Ooh, yeah.
Is that when they wear their tiny little bikinis and
Yeah.
you see their
Yeah.
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 well,
Remember Holly
Wonder
Holm
Woman
had that
and-
incredible fucking
She had
camel
a
toe.
big
That
old
was
dick in there.
yeah, that it was.
but she had what?
Well, she was accused of taking steroids because she had a big old clitoris.
She had a clit dick. It looked like.
Yeah, because they say that's what happens to girls when they take steroids. Like if you look at Chris Cyborg's vagina,
See, I
it
didn't-
has a big old thing on there.
No, it doesn't.
it happens.
you
It has to have. I mean, I haven't seen it, but just looking at it, it has
how
to
do
have
you-
something like that. It
How do
has
you
to
know
have
about
something
this?
like that. It's just science, dude. I mean,
Wait, what's science?
when girls take a lot of steroids,
they grow dicks.
their clitoris is getting large. That's why if you go on Pornhub and you type in like the super ripped chicks who like take a lot of steroids, they have gigantic clitorises.
what do they have?
I've never typed that in.
Clitoriuses.
All right, I didn't.
By the
know
way,
that.
that's a planet that was recently discovered. Clitorius.
I've definitely never
Fucking
typed that
send
in.
these two over there, please. So, this Friday night, I'm going to the Tough finale. Can't wait.
Where's
First,
that at?
It's in Vegas.
Okay.
You want to come?
Nah, no,
You
I don't want to
just-
go to Vegas for a
you
long
just walk
time.
there,
dude.
right?
Yeah.
But
He'll start walking.
I don't want to go
around.
Vegas for a long time.
Take the blind
So
guy.
many bad memories.
Yeah.
He's got to fly now. He's got to fly.
why do I feel like this blind guy has no
I
idea?
love
he was in a
flying.
movie?
I love
He
flying.
still won't, so it's okay.
45 minutes. The plane goes up, comes right down.
His blind friend who happens to want to walk to Vegas for his
Yeah.
student film.
Yeah.
This sounds so fucking
I
sketchy.
think it's an episode of The Twilight Zone, but it might have been real.
I
All
think
of
it's
the
like
above,
probably
man.
like a blind homeless guy, and he probably just had like a one of those like fishing rods, and
Right.
he held a cheeseburger in front of him. For
Yeah.
He went to Vegas. Anyway, so like a car. All right, that was horrible. So Chitty Bang.
He's blind. He's not fat.
I don't
He's
know. Chitty Bang
Wait,
is taking
Bellator or UFC?
Bellator first. It's on DAZN or DAZN.
It's- Yeah, I think I finally figured out it's DAZN.
Yeah.
DAZN.
It's
But there's no
DAZN.
O.
I know,
duh.
but I heard an announcement on like a
duh.
commercial for
But why, you can't just
Chuck
add,
Cheeto.
add
I
letters.
know. I always thought it was Dazin or yeah.
D-
I actually
DAZN.
like DAZN more than DAZN. DAZN sounds cool.
There's no O.
don't worry. In 6 months, we won't have to debate it because it won't exist any
It'll be
longer.
the done. All right,
Yeah.
so
Adam
Dun,
redeemed
dun,
himself.
dun, dun, dun.
He's redeemed.
I did good. Yesterday I had a couple. Had some funny ones. It was what did I have? Or maybe I had something. I dreamed about something funny. All right, so Chitty Bang's taking on John Salter. Salter's on a tear, right?
Salter's short notice replacement though.
For who?
Melvin Manhoef.
Oh, Chitty Bang would have beat Melvin Manhoef.
He probably would have knocked him out.
Bloody-
Yeah.
I think Salter's
but I
a hard-
still love watching Melvin Manhoef fight.
Salter's a harder fighter. At this
Yeah,
stage
Salter's
of the
a real tough dude.
game. Ooh, who wins this?
I think it's a striker versus grappler matchup, man, and I think Salter, if he gets it down, it's over.
Oh, thanks, but it doesn't.
I think Salter in the upset.
I want Chitty Bang. That's my man. Chitty Bang. David Rickles, the caveman.
Oh, Rickles is back.
I gotta say,
I always liked Rickles. He never wins, but I like him.
I gotta say though, that fight against MVP, I held Rickles in such high regard until that MVP fight. He quit. He gave up.
it was ridiculous.
I mean, maybe he was more hurt than I. Look, I would have quit before.
It
the fight,
didn't look good
but-
though.
Man.
It didn't. It didn't look good
And he's
for
a
his
caveman.
resume.
I was gonna say he puts on a better show than a fight.
Sometimes.
You know what I
walk
mean?
out.
Like
No,
he's got
not
the
always.
persona and he wears the outfit and the whole thing, and then he comes out. And,
Not always. He's 19-5.
I know, yeah, he's won some fights, but it seems like when he really gets into the big stage, all of a sudden.
Didn't he get whooped on by Chandler recently too?
Yeah,
Didn't
but
Chandler
the
beat
MVP
his
thing was the
ass?
worst.
But I do like him. Don't get me wrong. I like him. I
He's
like
taking
watching
on
him.
Gahambre Bamba. Who's that? G-U-I...
Is that Francis Ngannou's cousin?
Wait, let me see.
Guiherme Caherm Bamba. I feel like he trains with Allen and them.
That's Bomba from Tough. He trains out of Black House. I
Yeah,
think.
right? He's
That's,
really
that's
good,
a
right?
good matchup. Yeah, Bomba's tough, man. He's a very, very hard hitter.
They always talk about him. Allen always talks about how good he is.
Yeah, he was the one that also Demi Lovato left Rockhold for him.
Oh.
She went from a main event champion in the UFC to what at the time a prelim Bellator guy.
Yeah. At that
Wow.
Point, at that time, I said she had like MMA Tinder. Or she just kind of went.
She was just scrolling through the fighters going, I'll fuck that one next.
I mean, Demi Lovato, like you wouldn't?
Yeah, but didn't she?
Kidding me? Put me on the list.
Didn't she
Even though
leave?
you're engaged now? Would you still do it?
Sure.
Why?
Why not? It's Demi
You're
Lovato.
cheating on your girl.
I know I'm not. It's
Oh,
only
I'm sure
cheating.
she would allow it, dude.
Yeah,
Demi
exactly.
Lovato.
I'd be like, come on,
I know
babe.
your
It's
girl.
Demi
She would not allow
Lovato.
it.
You don't know her.
I know her.
No, you don't.
She would not allow
She
it.
might be into it.
I mean,
Has
Greg
she
might
ever
actually be
allowed
able
you
to pull it
cheat
off
with
though.
anybody?
I've never asked. But I would for Demi Lovato.
Yeah.
I'd be like, come on, babe. Come on, Demi Lovato.
I don't know. Demi Lovato's had depression in the past. This might put her out.
Or this might, I was going to say, that's what puts her in my league.
Well, I was gonna tell you she also left Bomba for Wilmer Valderrama.
No, she hadn't. They were dating a long time ago. I think he was.
She went back to some like
I think he was just helping her through her depression.
I saw Wilmer at Starbucks.
That's
the
one
other
way
day.
to help her through the depression.
I'm gonna say if Wilmer could
Pump
score her-
it
Dude,
up.
Wilmer, are you kidding? Wilmer's.
All he does is get ass. That guy's,
I
oh
know.
my God.
All I think of is Fez.
Dude,
Remember, he got in trouble for going on Stern and talking about like finger banging all these chicks, these celebrities, and then their boyfriends were like, "Fuck this dude."
No, I saw him at Starbucks the other day. He was like out on a jog or something. He stopped at Starbucks. I love that '70s show, so I was like, "Is that Fez,
Me
dude?"
and him had like a deal together for a while. We were working on a show together.
Oh, is that right?
He's a super nice guy.
Yeah.
Also,
awesome.
Juan Archuleta, who I think is the most underrated fighter in the world. He's 20-1. He's taking on Jeremy Spoon. Who's Jeremy Spoon?
Not a fucking clue. He's just another sacrificial lamb to Archuleta's resume.
Damn,
Wow, boy.
dark.
You don't need the fucking makeup for that one. Look, he is wearing a hood, though. Face the camera and say that right into camera, would you?
By the way,
go,
your guy got kicked out of the wrestling. That guy that you're like, remember you used to open every show going, boom, boom, shake the room.
Oh,
or
I
something?
know. No, he showed up to the Staples Center and tried to hide in a disguise at Survivor Series. But then he brought up his own WWE Custom Championship and did his entrance in the second row in the middle of a match. Security tackled his ass, kicked him out, and Staples Center banned him for life.
No,
also,
what happened to this guy?
Also, he had a show the night before at the Whiskey.
Yeah.
6 people showed up.
What kind of show?
It was a rap concert for him.
He's a rapper?
He attempts
wait, what's
to
his
be a
name?
rapper.
No, he's not.
Enzo. Well, it was Enzo Amore.
Didn't he do like domestic abuse or something? What happened?
So why he got kicked out of WWE was for raping a girl, but this girl in her
It's
interviews,
a legit reason.
yeah. But this
That
girl
usually
in her
does it.
interviews was not credible at all, and he ended up not getting convicted. Like they
Oh, so
didn't
he was
really
accused of
pursue.
rape. He wasn't.
Yeah. So,
When
but
you
then
say he
they
got
kicked
out
him
for
out.
raping a girl. That,
Well, they kicked him out for the accusation, but
Yeah.
it was never proven, and they just wouldn't let him back in. But like, out of the 3 people, him, his old tag team partner, and their valet, the valet is the only one left in WWE. The other guy got kicked out for grabbing the valet.
And what was his catchphrase?
He had a lot.
You
of
mean
them.
they got thrown out for actually fighting?
Yeah, they got in a fight in the back.
No, but what was the catchphrase that you used to always do?
This is the
Bottom room, those guys in the
WWE.
room.
We don't allow real fighting here. Get the fuck out.
Wait, what was it?
Bada
pussy.
boom,
We
realest
didn't
guys-
write that.
Guys, we can't talk at the same time. Oh, what was it?
Bada boom, realest guys in the room. How you doing?
That was your phrase for a while.
You loved it, yeah, that's right. You
lot
just
of
said
the shit
something.
I love.
You said it one time on the show. Boy, you got lit up for that one. That was fun.
All right, so also
That was classic.
That's what I'm here for.
Daniel Weichel is taking on
People loved
Gotti
it, though.
Yamiochi.
That's a good matchup, actually. Weichel lost the title fight recently, I think, and Goiti's the one.
Bubba beat.
Bubba beat him. Chandler completely neutralized his game. Goiti's a really, really tough grappler. That's actually a really good
And
matchup.
then Joe Schilling's on the card,
Nice.
taking on Will Morris.
I hope Schilling's focused, man, because a focused Joe Schilling's a very tough dude.
Crazy that like Schilling is actually smokes cigarettes all the time, and he's fighting a guy named William Morris. Or that's not William Morris. William Morris is the agent.
Philip Morris.
Ah,
Philip
fuck,
Morris.
that was my joke. All right, I'm editing that out. Okay, so
No, it stays in. It has us laughing at the second part.
They can't all be gems or even make sense. All right, and then Joe Warren is taking on Sean Bunch.
Yeah, and he's on the prelims.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Joe's pissed.
Yeah, right? He's a bit of a name.
My friend who's a
He's
comic.
been around forever.
Ever.
He's one of the original Bellator guys.
Yeah.
Wow.
And he
And
calls
then-
himself the baddest man on the planet.
And then Gerald Harris is on the card. We do comedy together. He's a comic and a fighter who got cut from the UFC. It was bullshit the way he got cut. He lost one fight. He kept beating people like body slam.
But that seems to be kind of epidemic over there, right? Like,
Right.
if you either keep winning, get on a streak, and build a name, or they cut you after a loss. I mean, that's it.
And then Chris Honeycutt's on the undercard too. It's actually the undercard's really good on this. I would say.
Yeah, Honeycutt was in Chuck's corner the other night, and I'm like, Chris, you're wasting your time.
And then all right, that's on the same night as the.
Now, when you
ultimate-
said that, could he hear you, or
No,
were
I
you
was
just
watching
saying
on
this
TV.
into the? Okay.
said it to yourself.
Yes, because I yell at football games all the time, and then I look.
Well, it was just weird
and then
seeing
they do
Chuck's
this shit
corner.
that I say, and I look at Summer and I go, "It's like they can't even hear me."
Yeah. Wait.
Chuck's corner was just very
You
interesting.
should say to myself as opposed to I said.
Well, my
Chris.
girl was there. I don't think she was listening, but
But
she
you
was
said
there.
that you said it to Chris.
So
I said to him, I said, "Chris."
you
Same
leave out a
shit.
couple words.
Maybe not. I don't
You
know. I'm
like-
just kidding.
Like I had a Netflix special. I watched a Netflix special.
Right, they're so close. They're right there. Yeah, you know, one is the same as the other. 6 of one, half dozen.
So Rafael Dos Anjos taking on Kamaru Usman, Ultimate Fighter finale.
Really?
Yes.
Nice.
I'm going to be there. I think I have to leave right before that fight, of course, because I got 2 shows in Vegas this week. One at the House of Blues at 9:30, and then at the Dirty at 12:30 at the South Point. So I think Usman's going to run through Dos Anjos.
I agree.
Yep. He's bigger, isn't he? He's a lot
Bigger, he's younger, he's less
a lot
miles.
bigger.
He's just, I think,
But aren't
The
all of his
Nigerian
fights-
nightmare.
Aren't all of his fights super boring? Like he just like that grindy.
Only when he goes to 30%.
yeah, him and he has a very Colby Covington style of fighting, and I think that's what Dos Anjos has. And Bubba left Dos Anjos' camp. Remember, he came here and said he's no longer with him. You were there, right? Mm-hmm. So that's not good.
Dos Anjos has been doing he kind of pulled the Johnny Hendricks move, where he left a bunch of big camps and just kind of formed his own, and it's kind of like, I don't know, you're either going to do really well or you're just kind of going to shit the bed, and it may not be the best decision for your career. But I see Kamaru getting the shot when he beats Dos Anjos, he should get the shot at the winner of Colby and Tyron.
Yes, I agree. In the Ultimate Fighter finale, Justin Frazier is taking on Juan Espino. You watch it this year at all?
Yes, and I wanted to comment actually about the most recent episode, but I didn't know if everybody watched
Nobody
it.
has, but tell us anyway.
Okay. Well, this dude Maurice
I've
Green.
missed the last 17 seasons.
Yeah.
This guy Maurice Green has been talking shit and getting shit-faced drunk every episode.
Yeah, I've seen some of that.
And talk shit to this guy Juan. And Juan's a super wrestler, but very, very powerful. And he just fucking
Was he the
murdered.
Olympian guy? The guy who made the Olympics?
Yeah, and he
Cuban?
murdered fucking Maurice the other night, like an overhand right to a left uppercut, and Maurice just dropped like a sack of shit and just got beat on. I don't think Justin Frazier's a big heavyweight. He's one
the
of those
guy from Ohio or something.
He's the one with the bear claw tattooed
Yeah.
on him, and he just lays on you because he's fat.
Yeah.
He's like the new Roy Nelson, but without power.
Yep.
I think Juan Espino's going to
compliment.
destroy him.
Okay, and also Penny Kanzad is fighting. Who's she fighting?
Isn't it Leah Letson?
I don't know, but
Oh, no. They have to determine it this week. The episode's on tomorrow night. It's either Macy Chazon or Leah Letson.
I like Penny. Remember she came on the podcast and Tanya Evinger beat her,
Yes.
and then it got really awkward because Tanya was in the studio and
Yeah, she hung up.
just not being nice to Penny at all. But then we have
Yeah,
Penny on
yeah.
with Rashad. Remember Rashad was singing to her?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like Penny. She's a cool chick. Now this is for 145.
Yeah, this is 145.
Okay.
And they canceled out a lot of big name people that should have gotten in the house at
the
the
winner
tryouts.
of this fights Cyborg, I guess.
No, I don't think there's a title shot on the line at all.
All right, so Brian Caraway versus Pedro Munoz.
I love this fight.
I hope Caraway wins. Talk to me about Pedro Munoz.
Pedro Munoz, from what I remember, he might have changed camps, but he was out of Kings and Black House. Super good jiu-jitsu player, great grappler, and not bad on the feet either. I think he's the guy that can give Caraway a major fit in this fight, and I'm not sure where to go with it, but I'm pretty certain it'll be a good fight.
That's not good.
Yeah.
Edmund.
I agree. I totally agree with all that.
I don't
exactly-
fucking know. I know the
about those same
Valentina
things.
sisters debuting.
Yeah.
Antonina Shevchenko.
Yeah,
She was going to fight Ashley Evans Smith.
Yeah, that
Now
was
she's
a-
fighting Ji Yeon Kim.
Who's that?
Not 100% sure. Short notice replacement. I think Antonina walks through her no matter who she is.
All right, so Daryl Horcher. He's the guy that fought Khabib. He's taking on Roosevelt Roberts.
I actually know about Roosevelt Roberts.
Why?
He trains out of Ruka with Jalen Turner, Michael Bisping, Tito,
Oh, yeah.
RDA. This kid has been highly touted. Not a lot of people know who he is, though. The most recent videos I've seen on him is half training and half draining his cauliflower ear.
Yep.
But I think he's going to give
Delicious.
Yeah.
I think he's going to give Daryl Horcher a good fit.
Classic
I think
Thanksgiving treat. Draining of the
I used
cauliflower.
to get my drain every week. It
Did
was
you really?
fucking worst. And then it would come right back. We take a shower. It comes right back. And
Yeah.
It turns purple. And everybody, I had purple ears. The kids used to tease me. They used to be like, look at Adam. And they put, like, during lunch, they would take broccoli and put it in their ears. This one kid going, I'm Adam. And so, like, fucking,
hilarious.
Price of
Good
fame,
job,
my man.
guys.
Price of fame.
when you're 14, I guess it's funny. And Joe's still
Yeah,
laughing.
that's pretty funny. I would laugh today. I would laugh today.
You would have been the kid with the fucking cauliflower.
Yeah.
Joseph Benavidez taking on Alex Perez.
It was a good fight.
Is there honestly a point in this flyweight division anymore? Dana already
I
like
thought it was terminated.
he's flip flopping. Well, no, but now I originally thought Dillashaw Cejudo was for 135.
It's at
Dillashaw's
125.
dropping to 125.
Which I think gives Cejudo the advantage because Dillashaw has no fat at 135.
Yeah, where is
How
it?
is he making 125?
Cutting his fucking one arm off? I don't know.
I mean, what is he
That's a
doing?
bad plan.
And then Chris Gutierrez, I know him. He's taking on Ronnie Barcelos. Tim Means is fighting Ricky Rainey. Ricky Rainey's the guy that got knocked out quickly by MVP, and then went on the Ultimate Fighter, and then won his last fight, or he lost the last fight. He's fighting Tim Means.
There's a
Tim
lot of
Means
like
should win.
one name sides to this where who they're fighting, you don't know who the fuck they are.
Yeah, but it should be good.
Is that the tough finale?
Yeah, that's a tough finale
There's
on
another one the
Friday.
next day?
Saturday.
No, that's no. Not
Yeah,
that.
Saturday there's a UFC as well. Junior Dos Santos is back
Oh,
against
fuck, dude.
Tai Tuivasa,
Oh wow.
the shoey.
Wow, this guy, Tyson Boss is really good. He's the guy with the tattoos all over his body. Look, he's wearing pants.
He's the one that when he wins, he goes in the audience, gets the guy's shoe, puts the beer in it, and then chugs the fucking beer out of the
That's
guy's
gross. It's called
Adidas.
shooting the boot.
Very
It's
gross.
He calls it a shoey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I know-
Mark Hunt's
I met
back.
some Marines that did that one time, and they made us all spit in this one boot, and then he.
That's what they
fucking-
do. He
then
gets somebody to
drank
spit in it, and he
then
drinks
pours some
it.
beer in it, and then they drink the whole fucking thing.
Yeah.
It's called shooting the boot. It's fucking gross. It's one of the grossest things I've ever seen in person.
Yeah.
Wow, you've seen some gross
And
shit.
I've seen some gross shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
snorted cocaine out of a girl's butthole.
That's one of the best things I've ever seen in person.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
Yeah. So anyway,
Yep.
Dos Santos versus. I think I got to go with Ty on this.
I'm going with Tuivasa with the upset.
I mean,
Junior's had a lot better days about 10 years ago.
Yeah.
prime Dos Santos. I think
No
beats.
chance.
But Mark Hunt versus Justin Willis.
Of course, you know we wrote off what's his name.
Overeem.
Yeah, so you never know.
We didn't write him off. We didn't know the other guy. We actually know the other guy in this one.
Yeah.
We didn't know who that guy was. All right, so Mark Hunt
I wrote
versus
him
Justin Willis.
It's a good fight, dude. They're both, thick boys. Justin Willis, don't underestimate his physique. He's pretty good, dude.
Do you even know who you're talking about?
No.
Yeah, he does. You know who he is, right?
I've seen him. I think
They're the
he's
thick
fight like
boys.
twice.
He just beat Chase Sherman
Ooh.
by decision.
Ooh.
But this is Mark Hunt's last fight on his contract with the UFC. So
Dude, I
expect a
want
Bellator
all the
signing.
audience to do themselves a favor and just put thick boys into the search and just
Thick boy.
see what you get. See what
Are
you
still
get for your
watching,
thick
transgender
boys.
porn or no?
He's looking for them thick boys.
No, not really. I'm more into torture
jeez.
stuff and
What?
Go back to
torture
transgender.
stuff.
Like,
Okay, now stop. Don't even.
Is it watching CB's act?
Oh.
No. What's torture stuff?
Well, I mean, it's such a big, broad, it's sort of like an off category of BDSM, but it's very, very broad. You see, you have torture stuff like a guy will be, he'll wrap a rope around his testicles and squeeze it really tight, and then he'll have a girl come in wearing super 10-inch tall high heels.
Right.
This is the episode I come back to.
And I mean,
I've heard about this, but I have no
thing.
desire to see it.
I mean, I like to see it. I'm
you're
not aroused by
fucking
it. Yeah.
You're not aroused by it? You're just watching it for what then?
Yeah.
You're just watching it because you have time to kill?
Yeah.
Wait, what do you mean? You just
So what's
watch-
going on with how's your lady then? Did she miss you on your journey?
Wait, what? You're just watching it like how long do you watch this for?
It's just when I can't sleep at night, maybe just for 1 or 2 hours, But
there's this new thing you can get here in California called weed.
yeah.
And instead of watching torture porn,
Yeah.
you can just smoke a little weed and then get some rest.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's an option in America, in California.
Now, Joe, your woman has never had sex before, right?
No.
And you're watching torture porn.
Probably never
Yeah.
will now.
Now, do you see how this could potentially be a problem?
I mean, sure. But I mean, I also there's not just torture porn, dude. I like, there's some nasty stuff. You got to go on the dark web for the stuff that I watch.
Like
but
what?
Oh God! Stop talking! Stop! Stop!
Thank you.
Stop
Thank you, Greg.
Before you
Thank you.
incriminate yourself.
What do you-
No! Stop talking! I don't want to hear.
Greg
this.
shutting you down?
You don't want to say it. Don't put it on the record.
is it
don't
legal
do it.
or
We
is it-
no, it's illegal.
It's legal. All right,
I
what is
think.
it?
I
No,
don't know.
it's not. If you have to go on the dark web for it, it's not legal.
Wait. All right, go on. What do you?
So it's basically like
Stop encouraging this. This kid's got his whole life in front of him.
Go on.
what they'll do.
Go
is
on. What a dick.
They'll put these girls in these saw traps, like from the movie Saw. But they're real traps. But they're not fatal. But they're like I don't know, nothing. They're not going to die. They're not going to have their jaw ripped off or anything. But
They
they're
just
like
can't
saw
fight
traps.
back.
Yeah, so they're bound up and they're getting cut and tortured and whipped and stuff, and they're all bloody. And then there's this giant black guy wearing an executioner hood comes in and fucks them. I'm glad this is being recorded on video too.
Jesus, I tried to tell you.
Yeah.
kid. I'm sitting right here.
Yeah,
And everyone can hear me
yeah.
except you.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's not that bad.
Well, but it's actors, right? It's not like a real. Then it's not like.
No, they're not like real people getting captured off
Okay,
the street,
okay.
but it is German, a lot of it, so you never know.
Of course it is. Oh
Yeah.
my God.
Why? What do you mean? Of course.
Germans, they're fucking weirdos.
Yeah.
All of them.
Yeah, they're freaks, man.
Yeah.
Except for my girl, she's not.
She's
but the
German?
rest of them- yeah, well, she's born in Germany.
Okay.
And has German on her dad's side.
What's up, people? Robinhood is an investing app that lets you buy and sell stocks, ETFs, options, and cryptos, all commission-free. They strive to make financial services work for everyone, not just the wealthy. They got a non-intimidating way for stock newcomers to invest for the first time with true confidence. All right? It's simple and intuitive. They got a clear design with data prescribed in an easy-to-digest way. Listen. They got amazing value. They got no commission fees. Other brokerages charge up to $10 for every trade, but Robinhood doesn't charge commission fees. No, they don't keep all your profits. Their design is easy to use. They got easy to understand charts and market data. Place a trade in just 4 taps on your smartphone. Yes, just 4 taps, and you learn by doing. Learn how to invest as you build your portfolio. Discover new stocks and track favorite companies with personalized news feed, okay? And then you get custom notifications for price movements so you never miss the right time to invest. And they're giving listeners a free stock like Apple, Ford, or Sprint to help build your portfolio. Sign up at MMAroasted.robinhood.com. That's MMAroasted.robinhood.com. Check them out. 66% of men lose their hair by the age of 35. And the thing is, once you start to notice your hair loss, it's too late. It's easier to keep the hair you have than to replace the hair you've lost. Trust me, I've lost hair. It's not fun. No, I look at my pictures, I'm like, oh, the good old days. Why can't they come back? All right? Is that hairline slowly starting to move backwards? Any bald spots? Yeah, be honest, people. Be honest. How would you feel a year from now if it was business as usual up there? You'd feel great. You'd feel amazing. Now, why do guys turn to weird solutions or do nothing when they can turn to medicine and science? Here's a solution. Go to forhims.com. It's a one-stop shop for hair loss, skincare, sexual wellness for men. Yes, Hims connects you with real doctors and medical-grade solutions to treat hair loss. Well-known generic equivalents to name-brand prescriptions to keep your hair. Yes, keep your hair. No snake oil pills or gas station counter supplements. No waiting room. No awkward doctor visits, okay? You could save hours by going to forhims.com. Order now. My listeners get a trial month of Hims for just $5 today. Right now, while supplies last. See the website for full details. This would cost hundreds. If you went to the doctor or to a pharmacy, go to forhims.com/roasted. That's FORHIMS.com/roasted. Forhims.com/roasted. Yeah. So Tony Martin, who I like a lot, he's dating Kayla Harrison, the judoka.
Wow.
He's fighting Jake Matthews. We've had him on the show, a young kid, really
From Australia, right? Yeah, he's good.
really good. He lost to Kevin Lee that one fight. He's won like a bunch of fights in a row since then. He's a good fighter.
He is really good, man.
That should be a good fight. That should be a really good fight. Tony Martin, Jake Matthews.
Who do you got?
Talking about Shogun.
And then Sadiq. Oh, Shogun. Who's Shogun fighting?
Tyson Pedro.
Ooh, that could be rough.
That's gonna be rough. I think Shogun needs to hang him up.
You think?
It's been a while. It's been enough time.
Yeah, and Tyson Pedro's a monster.
He's one of those guys that you're like, he's still fighting?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's even worse that when DC won the light heavyweight title.
But even that, like, I would rather watch Shogun. Sorry to interrupt.
No, you're good.
I'd rather watch Shogun versus anybody than Chuck versus Tito. I mean,
Yeah,
Shogun, you could say, is
yeah.
still sort of in his. He still could fight. What were you saying, DC?
But he is on the border of being in that category, though.
No, Chuck had lost 3 fights in a row, got knocked out, and hadn't fought in 9 years, and they put him in there. I wouldn't put him in. I wouldn't put Border in that category. Like some guy.
Even his mitt work rivaled Dada 5000. And we're Chuck.
What does that mean?
His open workout was rough to watch.
Okay, thank you.
Because
Because I remember Dada 5000 being just awful.
Yeah, exactly.
Right,
His
okay.
mitt work was even
I
worse.
remember when they were going to the Dada's training camp, and they were showing him on like the bench press, and he was doing like
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's
130 or
pushing a
something.
Subway sandwich.
So
Yeah, and I
stupid.
was like, "What? This is what you got?" And then he like went into a coma for like a month or something after that, right? Didn't he almost?
He pretty much almost died in the cage with Kimbo. And
Yeah. Also, Sodiq Youssef is on this card. We had him on the podcast. He's the guy that had.
Oh,
like,
nice.
He had he grew up in a family of like polygamists, and he had like 20 brothers and sisters,
Nice.
and like 4 moms, and like,
Yeah.
but it's like in Africa,
Right,
and so it was
right.
like it wasn't like it was shameful at all.
It's
Like,
never
I
four
know, yeah.
dads. It's always
dude,
four
there's a
moms.
lot of like
Yeah.
good names or fights on this card. Yushin Okami's back. Wilson Hayes and Ben Wynn.
ooh, Ben
That's a
Winston-
really good
Ben was the
flyweight
guy that,
fight.
like, remember he fought that bully. There was a thing on the internet where Jesse Jess's ex-boyfriend who beat her up.
It was
And-
Julian Wallace, I think
yeah,
was his
it was
name.
like talking all this shit to this like smaller Asian guy, and the Asian just knocked him out quickly. It was
It was
amazing.
pretty
It was like when
entertaining.
bullies get owned if you Google one of those things.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, but it was an actual fight.
I gotta say something about Jesse just too. We can talk about it after these fights though.
What's that?
Well, I texted you. I said, because I arrived in Vegas like a week ago for my trip.
Yep.
And I texted Jessie. I said, "Yo, I'm finally in Vegas. You can meet the Weendawg in person." And she says, "Yeah, that's awesome." I said, "Can I stop by the Performance Institute because she's always there like every day?"
Right.
And she says, "Yeah, come on by. I'll be there from like I don't want to see what time she's there, but I'll be there at this certain time."
Right.
And so I'm like, "All right, sweet." So that day that she said for me to come by, I texted her. I said, "Hey, is it okay for me to come by still?" And she says, "Oh no, I can't. I have to change the plans. I got a fight coming up. I'm gonna be very busy."
Ah,
And she said, "Don't worry, next time you're in Vegas, you can come stay at my place." So I gotta,
really?
I mean, things
there-
You got to get back to Vegas.
got spice between me
Wow.
and Jesse Jess.
Did you say her place was the Holiday Inn?
Yeah, I
Or-
mean, heart emojis. It was
No
serious.
way, really?
Yeah, I mean,
But don't you have a girlfriend?
I mean, yeah.
Yeah,
but
what
she's
if
my
Vince
hall pass.
Pichel hears
Beyonce.
this?
What?
What if Vince hears this?
Oh, he's a fiance now.
I thought you were engaged to her.
No, I thought about it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but then you guys convinced me not to.
Good.
But then weren't you? Didn't
Does
you?
she listen to this?
Weren't you to get like a some kind of what were you doing?
I think it
Baptist?
conflicts with her brain
Weren't you
surgery.
becoming baptized too?
Yeah, it's to restore my virginity, dude. But I understand
that a
Jess.
thing?
I know she listens to every episode that I'm on, so I just want to say, it's okay. You don't need to, get upset or anything. I'll be back in Vegas in a short while. No big deal.
Right.
And this has been your long distance dedication.
Yeah.
All right, so
Jesse Jess, if you're out there, the Weendawg's whipping one out for you.
In front of a blind guy.
Yeah.
So pull up real close to your phone speaker right now. And this one's going out to you from the Weendawg.
That was insane. All right. So we're calling Eryk Anders. He's got a fight coming up against Elias Theodoro. He's fighting our friend.
Oh, Elias. Yeah. It's good to see him back fighting. I know it's been
the
kind of
ring
tough getting
boy?
back in the ring.
Yeah, the ring boy. It's gonna be a good fight. Him and Eryk Anders.
Yeah.
It's an interesting fight.
What league? What station? What time is it online?
It's gonna be. I think it's the UFC in Toronto.
231.
Yeah, I'm almost positive.
Nice.
Hey, Eryk Anders.
How's it going?
What's up, man? This is your boy. You're on the MMA Roasted podcast. How's everything going, man?
Man, chilling, man. What's going on with you?
Everything's good, man. I got the baby. I took your advice, which is what you said, to just try to keep her alive. So that's what I'm trying to do.
Man.
And then everything's good, man.
You gotta keep her alive. You just gotta keep her alive so she can feed herself.
Yeah.
Then it's downhill from there.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, how old is your baby now?
I got a 9 and 7-year-old, 2 boys.
Wow. Are they keeping you busy?
Yeah, they're pretty self-sufficient at this point. So
At
it's
nine-
getting
at
to the
9
point where I'm not cool anymore. They just want to go do their own thing.
Really? Your father who played for Alabama, who national championship 2 times, and also a UFC fighter, is not cool to his own kids?
Man, sometimes, but not unless I have a fight coming up.
Oh, wow. Damn, what fucking hope do I have? If, this guy's not good for his kid, forget about it.
Yeah, you're probably doomed earlier than I am.
So you're fighting Elias Theodoro, December 8th, right?
Yes, sir.
Now, you guys have some beef. You called him out. Why Elias?
Man, he's just in that top 15 range. Man, simply nothing other than that, I'm trying to work my way up. He actually fight for that belt, so, he's just a stepping stone in that process.
Right. Now, I know Elias is his strength is his cardio and tenacity. The guy just keeps going and going and going. He's he doesn't get tired. How are you going to deal with that?
Yeah, I don't know about tenacity. He does have good cardio. Man, I got good cardio too. With the exception of that last fight, I put on 6 days post. I was supposed to get got the fight on. And I fought 25 minutes, so I think I'm good to go in that aspect.
1,000%. Your last fight, by the way, it was fight of the night. It was an awesome fight. Unfortunately, you didn't win. I was rooting for you. But you were close. Were you surprised that Santos was able to take your punch? Because you fucking hit him hard a bunch of times.
No, I wasn't surprised, man. I just he's been around. He's got a lot of fights, so I think he got knocked out by David Branch, but I think that was more so David Branch hitting him in the right spot. So I was certainly trying to land in that same spot, but didn't work out for me so well.
Hey, no, dude, you had nothing to... First of all, you took that fight on short notice. That wasn't even your weight class, was it?
Hey, your phone breaking up. What's that?
Wasn't it at a different weight class? You took that fight on short notice. You had 3 different opponents, and then it wasn't even your weight class, that fight, right?
Yeah, it was at 205. I'm definitely one of the bigger middleweights, and I can compete at 205. I think so. Fighting at 205, that's not an issue.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. I mean, that was a crazy fight. It seemed like at the end, when you were down, you were out because of exhaustion. Were you hurt, or were you just tired as fuck?
Man, I was tired as fuck, but I can't say that the elbows didn't hurt neither.
Yeah. No, I felt for you, man. I was me knowing you and me being your friend, I was holy shit. But then I was man, maybe he's just really tired. I was hoping that you were more tired than hurt. So.
Man, it's part of the game, so it is what it is, man. Don't need to feel sorry or hurt for me, It's all good.
No, of course. You're my friend. You came to my comedy show, and there were 6 people there, and you were one of them. And then you sent me a T-shirt.
I just didn't have anything else to do that night, man. It's Fresno, California. What else is there to do?
I truly appreciate that. And you came with your team. Now, it seems like you're the star of your camp, which is great. But have you ever thought about going to a bigger camp, one of these one-stop shop, like an ATT or a Greg Jackson or a TriStar?
Not really, man. I got my family here, and we're settled in here, nice and comfortable. Walt Harris, big heavyweight, just moved over to Spartan. So, glad to have him around. So, he's fighting Andrei Arlovsky December 29th, I believe.
Wow, that's going to be a good fight. Now, Walt Harris was a guy that you said you'd never taken an MMA course before, never took a class, walked in, they threw you in the ring with him, and he beat the living shit out of you for like an hour. Now, is it different now? And how good does it feel now?
Man, they pretty much go the same. I'm just a little more savvy at defending myself and fighting in general. So, it works out a little bit better for me now.
Good. Now, your last two fights, right? The one fight I was worried about you was that Tim Williams fight because you were a 10-1 favorite. And I'm like, man, when you're a 10-1 favorite and you don't knock a guy out in the first round, is that a pressure on you going was it almost too much pressure on you because you were such a big favorite against that guy?
No, not at all. This fight's 3 rounds for a minute. And, Tim Williams trains too. So, I got up to a really slow start, man. Just wasn't quite feeling myself. Maybe put on a little bit too much weight, got a little too big after weigh-in. So I think it had a little bit to do with it. But, that second and third round really got the things rolling. And, maybe I'll cash in on the year of eligibility for the kicker for Alabama.
Oh, my God. That kick was amazing. That was one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen. And you won $50,000 for that kick, right?
I did, yeah.
And then you won $50,000 again for your last fight. So your last two fights, you got $100,000 extra.
Yeah, I cashed in a little bit.
Good for you. What did you do with the money?
I let my wife manage everything, so we invest.
So Jewish sometimes.
It's just better that way, man. If I get it, it's all, I'm gonna spend it all. So I let her invest.
Have you seen his wife? His wife is this hot.
Let the money make money.
His wife is this hot Brazilian butt model who just does.
Congratulations on winning life, sir.
Squats on Instagram all day, and is like his biggest supporter.
Careful,
oh my God, and he's just like this big black dude, and this hot Instagram Brazilian model. You're doing very good for yourself, by the way. Very good. We're all very impressed.
I appreciate it, man. I got good taste.
No problem. Now, what was it like growing up on Army bases?
Man, it was cool. Lived in several different countries, Japan and the Philippines, and got to see a bunch of different ways of life. Traveled a lot, all across the United States. So it was cool.
What now? Did the Filipinos must have loved you?
Man, I was just a little baby, so I didn't get a chance to go to no donkey shows or go see the women.
I didn't mean it like that, asshole. I meant like you're just a cute little baby in the Philippines. They must have been like, oh wow, are you right? I mean, you probably stand out. No.
Oh yeah. No, there's definitely not a lot of black people in walking around the Philippines, especially tall Filipinos. My dad is 6'2", 6'3", so he's like the tallest person on the whole island.
Wow, that's awesome.
Wow.
Now, did your parents get very nervous for your fights?
Man, if you watch any one of my fights, you can always hear my mom screaming. She, I'm not even sure if she knows what she's cheering. She just screams my name really loud at random times during the fight. So next time you rewatch one of my fights, you'll be able to hear it for sure.
That's awesome.
Lyoto Machida fight in particular.
Now you were a college football player. You played in the CFL. What are your thoughts about who's the guy from the Cowboys that came over that had the domestic violence? What's that guy's?
Greg Hardy.
What are your thoughts about Greg Hardy?
I think Greg Hardy's a phenomenal athlete, man. I think that he certainly has potential to be a heavyweight champ. There's just not a lot of guys that move like him, and the amount of power that he can generate in a short area is unreal. I think he's 4-0 or 5-0 with 5 knockouts. So, he's doing pretty well for himself. And, he was an all-pro defensive lineman. So, he excels at the highest of high levels. So, he's definitely a 98th percentile of athletes. And, man, I'm kind of excited next to see what he's going to do in the world of MMA.
Now, how do you think he would? I know that the Black Beast called him out. How do you think he would do against the Black Beast?
I think that'd be a good fight, man. You know, Derek Lewis, you know, you can't never rule him out. If you watch that Vulcan fight, you know, he's losing it for 4 minutes and 50 seconds of the fight and knocks the guy out in the last 10 seconds. So, man, you know, he's always in it. But, you know, the thing about Derek Lewis, man, he gets off to a slow start and Greg Hardy does not. And he probably hits just as hard. So, you know, that's a matchup I'm intrigued to see.
Wow. Any football questions for this two? I know Greg Wilson has a fantasy football podcast.
That's right.
And you're a big football fan.
Huge football
You're talking
fan.
to a guy that was a 2-time national champion for Alabama.
That's fantastic. Yeah, a lot of Alabama guys go to the pros, man.
Any questions for this man?
What do you think happened to Derrick Henry? I mean, he was one of the greatest running backs you guys ever had, and then he gets to the pros and he can't seem to get going.
Man, you know, the NFL is a different beast, you know. The NFL, everybody's a phenomenal athlete. It's not just, you know, he doesn't have that I bet you if he played for the Cowboys, you know, he'd be a phenomenal running back. But, you know, he seems to the Titans, they don't have the greatest offensive line, and you know, it's
yeah, I know. I really believed in him this
bad
season.
career. I think the expectations are so high. Him winning the Heisman, him winning several national championships. That you know, if he doesn't make it to the Pro Bowl, then it's a bust almost.
Now, how many guys in college football offered you steroids when you were on the team?
Man, Alabama's a pretty clean school.
That's right.
So I don't think there's any of that going on.
Really? It's not like in the movies, like in the locker room, they're like, "Hey, man, you want to get better?" And
Yeah,
then
at
you
Fresno State.
Really?
Not in Alabama.
The only thing anybody ever offered me was a little bit of weed every now and again. So that's
There you
about
go.
it.
Now, when you were on your recruiting
Sweet
trip,
home
right? 'Cause
Alabama.
you were a great high school player, right? When you were there, when I was on a recruiting trip for wrestling at Binghamton, they offered me beer and stuff. But I know colleges, did they offer you some girls? Like, hey, you want to hook up with this girl, or a car, or Mercedes? What was it like?
Man, I didn't get any perks, man. You know, I bet you Julio Jones probably has a different story than I do. But Alabama was my biggest offer, so you know, I went ahead and signed and took it back to the house because you know I already knew it'd be part-time when I got there. And you know, I signed 2 weeks before camp started, so everybody was all settled in and ready to go to getting ready for camp and stuff. So wanted a whole lot of partying. I didn't go to any games or any of that. They didn't roll out the red carpet for me. Is basically what I'm saying.
Now, Alabama's the number one team in the league right now, right?
Yes.
In the country. Now, could they beat? People said they could beat the New York Jets. Do you think they could beat the Jets?
Maybe.
They could probably beat several teams in the NFL.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, that's a fact.
Yeah, a couple struggling teams like the Washington Redskins who have no offense, or the Bengals who lost their quarterback. I mean, some of these teams that are having used backups, I think absolutely they could go in there
But
and
even
rock
though
them.
these guys were all stars in their colleges?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes coaching has a lot to do with it, too.
Just watch and see how many first and second round draft picks Bama puts out.
Exactly.
They're on that team right now. That quarterback, Tua.
Tua, yeah.
You know, he's phenomenal.
Phenomenal.
He's phenomenal. Their defense is, you know, crazy, and you know, their special teams, I think, is very underrated.
Is it weird for you to see an Alabama team that can throw the ball so much and so effectively?
Man, this year has been a special year to watch, man. I think that Tua's definitely one of the better quarterbacks to come through in recent history. So, just the thing that the stuff that he's doing, he's definitely got to be in the lead for the Heisman Trophy.
David Tua?
So, you know, he's doing all right.
Yeah, man. He's pretty impressive. It's pretty amazing.
Now, I know that like professional athletes, like football players and basketball players, if a guy can fight, everyone respects him. Now, with you, when you go back to Alabama and you're in the UFC, do all the guys like kiss your? Is it like the movie with John Travolta where the whole dance floor opens up? Like, is everyone kind of kissing your ass?
I mean, it's not like that, but you know, they definitely respect me and what I do. So,
Yeah.
you know, they know what it is.
Yeah. All right. So cool. So we're fighting Elias in Toronto. That card is stacked top to bottom. Ortega versus Holloway's on that card. Joanna Shevchenko's on that card. And your card, you're fighting Elias Theodoro. Now he's a pretty boy. I know he's got like long hair and he's gonna try to like make you think he's just like, you know, don't get locked in his eyes. Because I've seen many guys look at him and then question their sexuality. So don't be that guy.
I know I did.
Yeah.
That guy's a
There
dream.
won't be any eye contact, man. Yeah.
All right, that's right.
Was
no eye
Alabama the
contact.
team that Ali G went to and asked the guy? Remember the Ali G show when he went in the locker room and he said, and the one guy got really pissed off at him.
I don't recall.
Oh, the Ali G. He
Oh,
asked,
yeah, Shad Williams. Yeah.
Who was it?
Shad Williams.
Shad Williams. Was he on?
I think he kept asking if he was gay. He can't make a gay stay in the windows.
Yeah, was he on your team? Were you on the team when that happened?
Nah, he's a little bit older than me.
Yeah, I forgot how young these guys are, man. They make me feel old.
We are old.
Well, last time we were on the podcast, your wife got mad at me. She said that I was trying to get stuff out of you and get you to reveal that you banged a lot of girls in college. So we're not going to have that this time, okay? Because I do not want your wife.
She knows. She knows
Just
what it is.
mention it.
But she's definitely not the one that you want mad. You don't want mad at.
Oh, good. I know Brazilians are very jealous women. They're very passionate, hot.
So if it was more than 50, say nothing now. Wow.
you banged over 50 girls in college. Wow, good for you, man. Good for you, Eryk.
Yeah.
Well, good luck, man. We're all going to be watching your fight and kick some ass, brother.
Hey, appreciate you having me on the show, man. Anytime.
Always take care, Eryk. That was Eryk Anders, man. That guy's a real athlete. Holy
Yeah.
shit.
Listen, you play for Alabama, you're a real athlete.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now he's in the UFC, and he had no MMA experience before that.
But we've seen this happen before where guys because the athletics, if you don't move on to the program, and even if you do and you get washed out at 1 or 2, you're 26 years old, you have this incredibly built body, you know what I mean? You want to do something physical. Some of these guys, they got a lot of aggression anyway. It makes sense.
He was working for UPS after college.
Yeah.
And he said that was like, and then his wife told him, look, he was training, she's like, if you're going to become a fighter, you do this full time. She supported him.
Yeah.
And now he's like, at one point he was like 11-0. He was just killing everybody. But
That's
the
great.
problem is that he doesn't have, not the problem, but the issue he had was he wasn't coming from any real I think he wrestled in high school, but he didn't have that huge background the other guys have.
Right.
I'm a black belt.
I've been doing this since I was
a
a kid, right?
So when I was
Exactly.
4, my dad had me wrestling, so he had to catch up a lot. But what they don't have is the physical ability and the mental ability. Play college football at that level.
If you do everything at the highest level, you see everything's attainable.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Like his work ethic and ability to structure it up to victory. He knows how to do it.
And learning
He knows
curve.
how to win.
Yeah, and also he has no mileage on him. A lot of these guys, when they wrestle since they were 4, they're burnt out. We see Hendricks. Hendricks was burnt out at a like before he hit 30. This guy's like, this is a new toy for him.
Yeah.
Now I thought he beat Machida. That fight was bullshit. And the loss he had the last time in Brazil was not as weight class. So we'll see how he does against Elias. Elias is one of those dudes though who even when you beat him, it's ugly because he's another guy who's a great athlete, but he's a tough guy to look good against.
Yeah.
There are a lot of guys out there in the UFC who they just even when you win, you don't look good doing it.
Yeah.
You never look good against a guy like Elias, a guy like Sam Alvey is that guy from Australia who's like 60.
Dan Kelly.
Dan Kelly.
Yeah.
Somehow they just your game, it's working, but it's neutralized at the same time. So you are scoring your points, you are getting your wins, but at the same time you're like, yeah, it wasn't really impressive for you to beat some dude that's 90 and.
But those
barely
guys are
doing
really
it.
good though.
And
Those
that's
guys
the
are really
craziest
good.
part.
Yeah. Those guys are really good. Let me. Hold on. Hey Jay, what's up, brother? I'm on the podcast. It's all good.
Right now, he's accepting a phone call from the booker of the Laugh Factory. So he probably needs him to do a show, or he's cutting him from a show. It's usually one or the other. They usually don't call
Yeah, no problem.
unless they. So it is picking up a show. He's covering a show, is what it sounds like right now. So good for him.
Okay.
That's
Good for him.
Jay Davis, the person he's speaking to, is actually in my fantasy football league. Tell him you're with me, and then I'm going to crush him this week. Although he's probably actually going to beat me. He has a much better team, but he lost so many games at the beginning of the season. I don't know if he's going to make it into the playoffs. He has to beat me this week to make it into the playoffs. The guy he's talking to right now. So, but I'm number 1 in our league somehow. He scored the most points in our league this last weekend.
No dead air on this podcast.
So me and Jay Davis, we're going toe to toe this weekend, and I'm going to need a big game. And it comes down to who I choose as quarterback. So that's I was filling in talking about the guy you were talking to.
Oh, nice. All right, so we're calling Rashad Evans. We haven't talked to Rashad. How are you doing, babe? How are you?
Bye-bye.
So my wife and the baby just walked in.
Oh, baby,
Baby had a tough day today.
Uh-oh, you're in charge, Daddy.
All right.
Daddy's in charge. Mommy's on break.
She got the Tupac headband.
Look at you pretty baby. Look at her smile. What a little precious baby. She's like, look at me.
Okay.
Boom, boom.
Beastie Boys shirt. That's amazing.
Hell yeah.
I love it.
I got a Tupac shirt for it too. I can't find it.
Little boy.
Just like Tupac
Look
is-
at this
is
little
missing.
boy.
I was gonna say, yeah.
All right, hold on.
Like, I'm a poo-poo princess.
So, all right. We'll take this part out, Joe.
Sure.
By the way, thanks for all your help. I know. By the way, so the reason there was like some people were mad about like the podcast being late is because Joe was in the desert walking to Vegas, and he still managed to get him out.
Dude, I had to
So-
like run to like any Starbucks or hotel. I
Right,
could find.
that had some
any free Wi-Fi. But
yeah.
the problem is when you're on free Wi-Fi, it's so slow.
Sure,
dude.
the upload speed
It took-
especially is the worst.
What I'm
took
saying
hours,
is
dude.
I can't thank you enough.
Oh,
Man.
dude, no problem.
And you're like, well, why don't you get one of your listeners? I'm like, Joe, I can't replace you, bro.
Yeah, that's true.
You're gonna have like a major career. You're making movies and still doing this podcast.
Yeah, I'll be the next Harvey Weinstein.
Well, it's not.
Nah, I mean,
You're just saying everything wrong today.
Yeah.
I gotta tell you.
Can you
that
explain
out.
to me? I don't know if you have enough time right now. This new MMA toasted. You're not offending people
Oh,
anymore.
I was fucking around.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought somebody got mad.
Somebody did get mad at me,
dude,
and
really?
somebody got mad at me, and I explained to them like they were mad at some of the Chuck Tito things, and I was explaining like, dude, it was like I was just making the jokes about them being old.
De La Hoya produced a joke.
And
Why can't
I
we
never
make
make fun
jokes?
of anyone when they lose. You know, unless you lose the way Bob Sapp was losing, where he was just like sort of tapping, like,
Or Jake stuck in a fence.
or your toe stuck in a thing where it's kind of like comical, I guess. But like, I'll never make fun of people when they get knocked out. And everything they got
No,
hurt.
and that's why I was like, who's
I don't-
getting
I don't like
offended?
to- but someone got upset because a lot of people. I hate to say it, a lot of
Kiss
people
baby ever.
were they hold Chuck on such high regard.
I mean, I do, but I'm realistic. I knew what was about to happen.
But they got really upset. Maybe it reminds them of their own mortality or something. I don't know what it is, but people got really
People
upset
just need something to bitch
about Chuck Liddell.
Yeah.
Everybody's fine with the jokes until it's something they care about.
Well, that's,
And then they're like, oh, why would you? Oh. It's like, listen, you can't laugh at the other jokes and be mad when it's your turn. Everybody takes a turn.
and number
You
one,
know?
and number two, it's like if a fighter gets upset at making jokes about him, then I'll usually stop. Almost 9 times I'll stop. But
You have more people tweeting you make fun of me than telling you to stop.
I go, anybody wants to be roasted, please let me know. And like 25 fighters over the weekend were like, make fun of me. And a lot of them I didn't even know, so I had to go.
You're like,
Right.
great.
Yeah.
Now I
You're
actually
like,
have to do
become
homework.
somebody. You know?
No, now they gave me a job. But these guys were like some of these guys were like 1-0, and like I was just making jokes on their like nickname. Like one guy's nickname was Lights Out, and like because you can't pay the electric bill. Like I was just trying to make nickname jokes and stuff.
Yeah.
The best one I had was like, a guy that was on Joe Henley. He beat Keith Berry.
Leonidas.
He won after it was the Chuck Tito fight.
Oh, he
another
was on the
fight,
post-lim?
and then another fight. I got more people witnessed Tupac shooting than your fight.
That's a good
They were
joke.
all laughing. Everyone.
And a
was
lot of
I knew
people
Joe
started
Henley.
shooting.
A lot of people. Yeah, it was just so crazy that they can't find the.
And yet nobody says shit. Nobody wants to say anything.
That's crazy. So trying to call.
I
Rashad,
blame Shug.
Probably.
Well, yeah. You don't want him mad at you.
You ever think that like maybe some guys out there on a separate thing, like made a deal with the devil? Like, okay, I'm gonna give you like 30 great years.
Yeah.
But then when it rains, it pours. Because you look at some of these guys' lives, like Suge Knight, that guy Joe Francis from Girls Gone Wild.
Oh my
Right.
God, dude.
But didn't he
Top
get
of
his
the world.
in the end?
What?
Didn't he get his in the end? Like literally in the end?
Yeah, he had somebody's parent like
Yeah.
hired a guy to like put a dildo in his own ass,
Nice.
record it, and tried to extort him for the money, and then that guy went to jail. So at a certain point, but yeah, you ever see that like a celebrity just can't do nothing wrong, and then all of a sudden the time runs out, and it's like the devil comes. And, okay. I hope you enjoyed your 40 great years because like Suge Knight's now blind. He like can't walk. He got like knocked out by like a 125-pound dude. Like,
I think it was called Karma.
And like Bill Cosby, dude. Look at
Oh.
that. It's a perfect example.
yeah. I was never a Cosby fan. I like the Cosby Show.
You know what it's
I was
about?
never a Cosby
It's all about
fan.
that one stupid line from, I think it was Batman Returns, or the second of the good Batman movies, the late ones.
The Dark Knight.
The Dark Knight,
And I'm probably tell you what the line is.
where the guy goes, listen, you either die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become the enemy.
Yep.
Villain.
Or the villain, become the villain. Right,
damn
sorry.
it, Greg.
Sorry, you do it. You do it.
I don't know how to say it.
Okay,
I just know that.
but that's where the line is. You either, you know what I mean? And that is completely true. Because nobody stays on an upward trajectory. Whatever rises must fall. Yeah. What goes up must
Really?
come
I don't
down.
know.
Yes.
I feel like some people do.
Because they manage to even out and not just but I mean, it's just you either, when you're that big a hero, eventually you will become the villain.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just crazy.
Or you disappear.
Yeah,
one
but
or the
also,
other.
and on the same token, people watch you through your rise going, I can't wait till he just takes a giant
And that's the other thing.
shit."
As much as we love to build people up, the only thing we love more than a hero is tearing them down.
Watching them
It's
fall.
our favorite fucking thing. The second anyone does everything, we start looking for anything to pull it all apart. Like, fuck you, why do you get lucky? And then when they finally come down, then the only thing we love more than that is to see them come back again.
That's why people love watching Conor McGregor fights, because they want to see him lose. Because he's like on this high horse.
Yeah,
he's
but
made
now
$1
it's
billion.
getting kind of weird with Conor, where it's to the point where it's almost like I hope he doesn't become like a parody of himself. But McGregor losing to Mayweather and then Khabib, if Donald Cerrone fights him, that might be the best thing for McGregor because I think McGregor could win that fight.
Yeah,
I'll be rooting for Cerrone all day long, but that's a winnable fight for McGregor because he's a stand-up guy.
Especially if it's down at 55.
Cerrone's been rocked before, and I don't know. I hope Cerrone gets that payday. He damn deserves it.
Right.
And if it goes to the ground, I got Cerrone all day long. But Cerrone might just stand in the pocket and trade shots with him, in which case that might be good for Conor.
Cerrone's also a very slow starter.
Yeah.
And Conor rushes him, he could finish him in 30 seconds.
And then as soon as that happens, everyone's going to be like, he's back. He's the best ever. And all the people who jumped off the Conor train are going to come right back on it. And
I don't know if beating Cerrone means not that Donald isn't
Look at
great.
Ngannou this weekend. Everyone's now back on the Ngannou train. Everyone was like, this is the greatest fucking heavyweight of all time. He broke the heavy bag record when he punched the thing, and then he loses to Stipe. They all left.
Right.
And then he lost to Black Beast. It was like me and two other guys were part of the, and then he knocks out what's his name, and everyone's like, he's the hardest hitter in the. I want to see.
I'm not back on his bandwagon.
A lot of people are though.
No.
I gave him the benefit of the doubt, but it was just like, I hope
want
he
to
does
see him
well,
fight
but
Curtis Blades again. I want Curtis Blades to get a second shot at that.
The third
It
shot.
would be a third
Or
shot.
a third shot, that's right.
I don't know, man. I think Curtis Blades. That might be his.
That might be it, though.
Everybody
yeah.
has
This could be his kryptonite.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one guy they just can't get over.
Look at Matt Hughes. Matt Hughes, I would say, is one of the top 10 fighters of all time.
Yeah.
He has 3 losses against Dennis Hallman, right? Dennis Hallman?
I think it was Dennis Hallman.
3?
yeah.
I mean, 3 or 4. He just couldn't beat
Dennis
Hallman. Wow. And Dennis Hallman's a hell of a fighter, but he's not on any top 20 list.
Yeah.
Maybe top 20 worst outfits with his fucking ball sack.
Top 2.
Top 2 worst outfits.
Yeah.
Remember he came in. He came
With
into
the
the
Speedo on, the blue Speedo, and his nut came out middle of the fight.
And
Yeah.
then,
Because he lost a bet or something.
and then Jacob Volkman submitted him, and then Dana gave him a bonus for getting him off his TV screen. You got to admit that's pretty funny.
That's really good.
How often is a football player going to give a guy a bonus?
Yeah.
For a ball sack off the TV screen. But we're trying to call Rashad Evans. He's not picking up the phone. Maybe he's still in shock from announcing that Tito Chuck fight.
He's still trying to close out the show because Chuck's not done shadowboxing
But
yet.
what's crazy about that fight is afterwards.
That was so sad.
Afterwards, I think Frank Mir
It
said
was,
that
the whole thing.
Frank Mir said he wants to see him again in the cage. It shouldn't be over.
Yeah, he should be, but he should be holding a microphone instead.
Yeah.
Interviewing people. Don't fight anymore. I even said, Rashad has beat both those guys. I really wanted to know what he thought about it off the record, not promoting the event after the fact. Like,
I don't know if he's going to want to.
Imagine Chuck Liddell as a referee.
Yeah.
Chris
Chuck
Lieben
Liddell.
was the referee the other night.
Lieben did a pretty good job.
Hey, what's going on? What's going on?
Rashad,
Hey, what's going on?
I thought it was his
how are,
voicemail.
is this your voicemail or you?
I thought it was his voicemail.
What? Hold on. I hear like an echo.
Beep.
Okay, can you hear me now? This is me, Adam Hunter. We got Rashad Evans.
Hey, it's my friend Adam. What's going on?
What's going on? So, by the way, Rashad, congrats on your successful commentating gig. First with
It was successful. It was successful. I didn't know if it was successful. I didn't even read the reviews, man. I just kind of
did it and just let it go.
Well,
you know?
I mean, no matter how bad you did, which you did great, it wouldn't have mattered because of that main event. That was, I mean, you could have masturbated in the booth and people would have been talking about that main event.
Oh my God.
What are your thoughts about Chuck Tito? Because you said this is the best Chuck has looked in a long time. Like he did have a 6-pack. So is that what you were talking about?
Exactly. At that point when I said that, I didn't see him fight yet, like nobody else. You know what I'm saying? So, just from the appearance, looking at him, I never seen him look that well. Have you ever seen him with a 6-pack?
No.
Yeah. So looking at him, you know what I'm saying? He looked like he was in the best shape I've ever seen him in.
Okay, he looked good.
Yeah.
Now, when did you know he was in trouble?
Oh man, the minute when he threw his first punch, yeah, I was like, oh man, it didn't look good because normally Chuck's whole expertise was the fact that he'd be able to go back and land the accurate punches, even backpedaling, and that's why he was so deadly because he had two different modes. Like he could hunt you down and find that precision shot, but if he got in trouble. Or if you thought that you can, outbox him, he'll box backwards and hit you with just precision, and with some heat with it too. Mm-hmm. So that when he didn't have that, I was like, oh man, this is father time, took its toll.
Yeah. No, I it was one of those things. I kind of felt bad. I really felt bad for Chuck in there, but then I'm like, well, look, he signed up for it. You can't. It wasn't like someone dragged him in there.
But here's what I think, man. I think we're all. It's easy to look at it and be like, oh man, we see the results, and he got knocked out and didn't look so well. But here's another way of looking at it. This dude got to feel alive for how long did he build up for the fight and that whole thing? Like being able to have that and compete at the highest level just one more time, it's worth it, man. It's worth it. Even if he didn't get the results that he wanted to, I guarantee right now is the best shape that Chuck is probably going to be in for the rest of his life. You know what I'm saying? Because even if he does maintain this shape, he's still not going to be in fighting shape because he's probably not going to fight anymore.
Right.
So, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's, we can look at it a couple of different ways, but...
But do you think the guys that he trained with, like, should have told him, like, hey, man, maybe this isn't a good idea? I mean, because, like, I don't know. I never sparred before on that level. I mean, the sparring I do is, like, curves. Okay, so I've never actually had that type of person. But if I'm in there with Chuck and I'm tagging him, I'm seeing how he's throwing, should someone say to him, hey, listen, maybe this isn't a good idea. We could pull out, just say that you injured your back or pull out gracefully. Maybe this isn't the best thing to do.
Yeah. But think about how hard that conversation is to say. Think about how awkward that is. You know what I'm saying? Like how awkward that is. If you doubt anybody in your dreams, if somebody tells you that you're not going to achieve one of your dreams, you know what I'm saying?
I hear it every day.
It's hard. It's hard to hear, right? It's hard. That's a hard thing to hear. Like if somebody tells you you're not going to achieve your dream, that's hard to hear. And who wants to have that conversation if you're just like a gym partner? You know what I'm saying? Like that's a conversation for like his wife or somebody like that. You know what I'm saying? To be like, hey.
Well, someone says to me, hey, Adam, you're never going to become this amazing comedian, yada, yada. I can say, no, fuck that. I go out every night. I do it, blah, blah, blah. But it's sort of like there's ways I can do it. I can get on this special or that TV show. We've seen it happen. But when it's one-on-one, and it's it's right in front of you, and you're like, hey, man, your punches are going, I don't know, 1 mile an hour, and every time I touch you, you're getting rocked. Dude, this is not, Tito's not, this is not the same Tito, right? I mean, isn't there? But I mean, kind of like with the CM Punk thing.
But here's the thing about it. It goes back to that old saying, the same things that make you, things that make you laugh and make you cry. And by that, I mean, he was so good at just, being able to, deal with all of that before, and he's always made his way through. And And how do you tell somebody that hey, you know what, you trained this hard, and you feel like you're the best that you can, you know, you're delusional. But fighting in itself is a crazy thing to do. Like when you're in the locker room and you got to make that walk, because a lot of people only see it as like, you know, we're in a cage and we're fighting, but making that walk, that is the fight right there. That's the whole fight. Like when you're in the octagon, the training takes over and the reflex is taking over, but it's just getting yourself to the point of being able to say, you know what, I'm going to do this. That's the fight right there. You know, so it's a hard conversation to have, man. And it's, you know, he's old. You know what I'm saying? He's been in a lot of wars, and you know, it's a hard conversation to be like, dude. Because here's why my heart goes out to him. Is he maybe he didn't go out the way he wanted to, and by that, like, not even just a win, but just being able to say that I want to retire, you know? I think that's what made him just push even more, because he didn't feel like the decision to retire was totally on him in the first place.
Right, that makes sense.
You know?
That totally makes sense. Now you've been retired for a couple months now. Are you getting that itch?
Hell no. I mean, look, I enjoy a fight like the next man, and I enjoy, you know, what the fight was. But listen, I'm real, man. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't have what I used to have in order to compete at that level. You see what I'm saying? Because it's an idea that allows you to compete at the highest level. It's an idea. You get that? So if you, like I've seen the end to that idea. So in order for me to go back and compete, I would have to recreate another idea. But then I know that I'm recreating it, so then it wouldn't mean anything to me. So I couldn't compete because my heart wouldn't be in it.
But how did you do? Like,
does that make sense?
Sort of. I think I have an idea what you're saying. But now, how did you do? But like a guy like Usman, right, who's fighting this week against Rafael Dos Anjos. He's a guy that you train with, Kamaru Usman. How do you do against him in sparring, like in training?
Oh, now or before, like when I used to compete. Now, this dude is a monster. I have to sneak attack him right now to do anything to him. This boy's he's getting to be that master and level. You know, see, there's different types of athletes. You know, like once you get to the level of mastery, and by that I mean like when you feel like you mastered your style. You know, then you're hard to beat, and he's mastered his style. But before he mastered his style, you know, it was, you know, when I was in my younger days, you know, before the knee surgery, you know, I used to do some work to the little man, but now I got to sneak attack him, man. I got to jump from behind and be like,
little
hey,
man, that guy's
30 seconds, like, hey, man, stop playing.
Now, how do you,
man, he's tough.
So you think he's gonna beat Dos Anjos this week?
I pray. I hope he does. You know, I hope he does. Just for him. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I love Dos Anjos, and I think he's a great fighter. And you know, the fact that he's been able to move back into the conversation again after being a champion, you know, that goes and shows, you know, so much for his internal fortitude, his will. You know, and for that I respect all day. But you know, I want my guy to get the nod for sure. I do.
Now, who do you think wins, Woodley or Covington?
Oh man, you know that's tough because you know it's one of those battles that it's emotional. You know, it's an emotional battle, and you know there's a lot that can be unpacked there. But if I'm just judging it from the last performances, I would say Woodley because you know they both have the ability to wrestle, but T. Wood has one thing that that Colby Covington doesn't. He has just that power, that freakish power that we've seen displayed when he knocked out Robbie Lawler, you know, and we've seen, you know, sporadically in different times, like when he knocked out Wonderboy and things like that. So he has that power. I don't see Colby Covington having that power, even though he does grind like a mug and he's tough as hell. I just don't see him having that power to finish T. Wood.
What about Ben Askren, Robbie Lawler?
Man, you making me go to work, man. I thought it was just a conversation.
I'm actually curious to hear your opinions on this.
Okay. Huh?
I'm actually curious to hear your opinions.
Okay, so what was the question again?
Ben Askren, Robbie Lawler.
Oh man, I would say Robbie, and not only because of the fact that you know, he trains at my gym and whatnot, but you know, he has a mindset that's out of control. Like I remember the first time I sparred him, you know, we were just going at it, and this dude just does not stop. He doesn't care. Like once you engage in that whole like, okay, we about to throw down, he just goes in autopilot and he's comfortable and he loves it there. You know, that's where he hopes the fight to go. So I think that, you know, Ben Askren, when it comes to his grappling and his ability to wear a guy down and to take punishment to get there, I think that's pretty dope. But the only problem is the fact that you can't take too many punches from Robbie Lawler and still have the wherewithal to impose your game, because he's, you know, because not only can Robbie punch, but he has power and he's savvy too. You know, he has a lot of intelligence when it comes to fighting.
But who are you guys bringing in to kind of emulate Ben Askren?
You know what, man? I'll be sitting here lying if I told you, man. I ain't been to the gym in so long.
All right, okay, got it. Now, how's it? Yeah.
No, you know, I've been to the gym. Not for real. I've been to the gym probably about a couple weeks ago, but you know, Robbie Lawler had already trained about the time that I got there. You know, so he's got Kami, and Kami is a genius. You know what I'm saying? Kami is a genius, and he understands how to work with Robbie, because you have to understand that Robbie, like the whole conventional thinking is, okay, we got to bring in this guy to do this and do that and do this. But at the end of the day, no one's going to do what Ben Askren can do. You know, Ben is a freak in itself, and it's a mistake sometimes when people, you know, they try to bring in someone like that person, because at the end of the day, that person isn't that person. You know, and then when you get into the fight, you have to make an adjustment anyways.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? So I think Kami does a really good approach whenever he's preparing his fighters, because he prepares the mind, and then when he prepares the mind, the body will follow, and that's their formula. That's how they've been able to be so successful working together.
Now, have you talked to Rumble at all lately?
No, I haven't. You know, I see him every once in a while. He'll pop up every once in a while, but I haven't seen him. The boy big as a house, man. I wish he had just covered this fight at least one more time.
He says he's coming back at heavyweight. He'll have to cut to make heavyweight.
Body and just raw power. You know what I'm saying? Like, that dude is a specimen.
Do you think if you hadn't trained with Rumble, you'd still be fighting? Like, he took off 10 years, those sparring sessions?
Listen to you. Nah, physically speaking, I could fight, but just the will to fight, it went away.
And how?
See, the thing about it is, there's things that I don't really speak about, because, you know, those things are not, you know, people, then they're not for everybody to hear. You know what I'm saying? But what made me stop fighting is just I didn't have the will to do it anymore.
Right.
And it happens. But at least I kept it real myself to be like, hey, you know what? Let me figure out some other way to survive and to support my family, because the will to fighting, it left me as fast as it came, you know, and I can't be mad at it, because it's the reason why I'm even able to do this interview right now. It's the reason why you care to hear what I have to say.
Well, I think a prime
You can't
Rashad.
be
I
mad
think a
at it.
prime Rashad Evans beats anybody in the world. You know, I think the Rashad Evans that beat Phil Davis that night, that knocked out Chuck Liddell. I don't think there's a guy out there that can take him.
Hey,
It's the truth.
you know what? For all the crazy things you say sometimes, this is the reason why you my boy. This is why I fuck with
It's
you,
the
baby.
truth,
This is why I
man.
fuck with you, Adam.
It's the truth. It's 100%. I'm 1,000%. I honestly believe that. I honestly, that's 100% true.
I know you do.
Any
I know
questions
you
for
do, my
Rashad
brother.
Evans from Greg Wilson?
And I appreciate you saying that, man. I really do.
It's true. Even though you think I never had a black person sleep in my house when I was a kid, which
Hey,
which
no, you know why? You already know why I even said that. You know why I said that because every single time that we hang out, you always gotta say something about me being black. And I'm like, damn, man, I don't know me for how long. And he always gotta say,
no, because you're
me
always
being,
late.
like-
You're always late,
like
so
it's
that's
a
why I say
surprise
that.
to me. I know. Well, yeah. All right, okay. I do things that fulfill a stereotype, but I give you that. I give you that.
It's all good. It's all good.
I can be stereotype-ish sometimes, but can we all?
Of course you can. Of course you can, man. The stereotypes are for a reason, because a lot of people of certain types
Live up to 'em all
do
the
them,
time.
and that's why you say that. Otherwise, they wouldn't be. But you show up. You don't always show up like in the Sam Alvey fight, but you do show up eventually.
Oh shit!
I'm kidding.
That hurt.
A prime Rashad never would lose to a ginger.
That stole the wind out of my lungs. Dang.
Look, it's all good. I thought that was a very close fight. You could have won that fight, and the other guy too. That 90-year-old guy from Australia that you fought to. What was that guy? The guy that came on the ring with crutches. What's his name?
What was that?
Dan Kelly.
Dan.
Yeah, you don't want to
Dan
beat up
Kelly.
old grandpas. I get it. You're a respectful guy. You don't want to.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about those fights. Those fights didn't happen.
But
I don't want to talk about any fight that I lost.
But you beat Chael Sonnen. You beat Forrest Griffin. You beat Chael Sonnen.
He beat the two guys that fought.
You beat Michael Bisping.
Let's talk about only the fights that I won.
Tito Ortiz, Phil Davis.
That's all good, man. I enjoy talking about it all because at the end of the day, my losses, they help, sculpt me just like my wins did. And I can't.
Of course. Now,
and I can't be ashamed of them. You know what I'm saying? That's why I feel like there's nothing for me to compete for. Is because I accepted what already is. I accepted the fact that, I competed at the highest level and I competed with men, you know what I'm saying, that are just unbelievable. You know what I'm saying? I think that, I competed against some of the best athletes to ever do it.
fucking Rampage.
And to me, that is,
Damn.
that's a thing,
Of course. No, you're a
that's something to
legend,
be
Hall of
proud of.
Famer, legend. But I do got to ask you. Last time we talked about you were in Atlanta, hanging out at some gay park, right?
Yeah. I
And there
remember
were
that.
a lot of gay guys were popping out of the bushes.
Piedmont Park.
Yeah, what's it
Piedmont
called?
Park.
Have you heard about that? Piedmont Park.
No, I have not heard about Piedmont Park.
It's a park that a lot of gay men go to.
Okay.
And Rashad didn't know
this-
this. He thought it was a regular park, and all of a sudden, all these huge black gay thugs started hitting on him. And
Nice.
they,
I got punked.
he got
For real, I
punked.
did.
They grabbed. Now, have you been back to that park?
Heck no, man. I got punked, man. I was like, yo, you know what? Because
Yeah.
you know what? Though? That's the thing about it. Like, I can admit when I can take an L. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes people can't admit when they take an L. And that's what ends up costing them a lot more than that L would have just took them if they just like, you know what?
But
He got me this. They got me this time. You know what I'm saying? Because
It happens.
like how do I win? How do I win that exchange? You know what I'm saying? How do I win that exchange?
You don't win. You win.
You
by
know what I'm
just,
saying? Like,
yeah,
I
it's
can't
all
be
good.
fighting.
But what was that? But what was the movie you were in? You were in that movie,
Gay
right?
bomb.
What was the movie you were in? The movie.
Boss level. Boss level.
What was
Boss
it?
level. But you know the tricky part was
You hear
because
that?
I was training for
level?
a fight,
God's
so
level?
it enticed my ego just a little bit because when you're training for a fight, you got to feed the ego. You got to feed it, because you got to start believing in yourself like crazy, So you're kind of feeding that ego and anything, So by the time you get to the fight, you feel like you're a god, just because you keep feeding that ego. So So I was in that place, and then they said what they said, and I was just like, you know what? I'm just gonna take this L right now. Man.
It happens.
I'm gonna just
So that
keep my
movie-
mouth shut and just go and meditate, man.
So Boss Level, which he's in with Frank
Boss Level.
Frank Grillo, Mel Gibson, Annabelle Weisz, Rob Gronkowski's
Boss
in it. Dr. Ken, Naomi Watts. This is some Will Sasso, Selena Lowe, Michelle Yao, and Rashad Evans and Rampage Jackson. It's coming out 2019.
Yeah.
That's awesome, dude. That's a fucking.
Yeah, I'm excited about it, man. You know, Joe Carnahan, he's a genius. The way that he shoots his movie is so dope. You know, and working for somebody, you know, working on set with somebody like him, dude. He's just amazing because he knows how to bring out each of the talents in which you're strong at, and you know, he's not one of those directors who, you know, will make you feel uncomfortable or kind of like expose where you're weak at. You know, he knows that we all got weaknesses, but he tries to bring out where you're good at. You know, and you know, I really enjoyed working on the set with him, man.
Good for you,
Dope
man.
good.
I like it. Well, listen, Rashad, have a great rest of the week. You are the best.
Hey, but you forgot to you just made like that one thing that I thought you were gonna say something about.
What's that?
The whole John Jones, man. John Jones snapped on me, man.
He snapped on you?
On Twitter, yeah, he did, man. I guess like he heard some comment about, I don't know, because I guess he interpreted it as like I said that he was cheating or something. He cheated.
He was cheating.
Well, I mean, look. At the end of the day, look, what he did or didn't do, that's not. I'm not here to convict or judge anybody. But if somebody asks me about the fight, I have to bring in all the elements that embody the fight. You know what I'm saying? And the fact that he went through what he went through, that's part of his story now. You know what I'm saying? So just because he's gotten past it, he can't expect people to not to forget that's part of his story. That if anything, he should champion it and say, you know what, I did all of that, and guess what? I found a way to work past that and defeat myself. Because no one can beat this man. But the only person that can beat John Jones has been beating his ass for the longest time, and that's himself.
Of course. Yeah.
But to say something to me, to analyzing, that's the easy thing to do. Oh, Rashad, da. Yeah, I get it. You know what I'm saying? I hurt your feelings a little bit. I get it. But at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? Like, I still think he's one of the best to ever do it, if not the best to ever do it. He's pretty dope. You have to admit, the dude is fucking dope.
When it comes to fighting, he's amazing. When it comes to fighting, he's amazing. Yeah. When it comes to life choices and character, you know, I mean, the leaving the scene of an accident after hitting a pregnant woman, that kind of did it. That kind of lost me as a fan.
But see, that's the thing. But that's the thing, though. That's the thing that it's easy to look at somebody and when they fall down and be like, you're a piece of shit person because of that. That's easy to do. But at the end of the day, like, everybody wants to be forgiven. Everybody, no matter what, everybody wants to be forgiven. That's the main human urge is just the feeling of forgiveness. So why do we make it so hard to forgive other people?
You're right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and that's to say you don't forgive.
But he never. But did he ever even apologize for that though?
You fucked up.
But he never even apologized. But he never even apologized for that, did he?
I don't know, man. I don't know. I really don't know. I didn't get that far into the story like that, but I'm just saying in general.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. People deserve second chances.
No.
You're right. And, you know, my
course,
experience with John Jones was fine. He was very nice when I met him. This is before he was a champion, before the Bonner fight. But, you know, he did test positive twice for steroids. According to Colby Covington, he took steroids in college. Believe it if you're not, they were roommates. And, you know, I've heard from a lot of people that he's not a very nice person. Now, I don't know. I mean, other people think I don't know. You know him better than I do. If you say he's a good guy,
I
he's a good guy.
I would say this. I'll say this. John made some poor choices, and John is not done the nicest by people. I'll admit that, but looking in this man's eyes and talking to this man and having a relationship with the man, I know inside, no matter how the choices that he makes at the end of the day, I know he's a good person.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I know he's a good person.
If
it's just that, people, he just have to defeat himself, and that's the thing about it, like defeating yourself. Everything you said right now, those are things of the ego. And remember what I said to you earlier in the conversation about what it is to be a fighter. Sometimes you have to feed the ego. That's why he's been the best, because he's been telling himself like he's a god. So when he acts the way and just does what he wants to do, in his ego, he doesn't understand the fact that it's one way to act like that when you're for fighting, because that's why we do it, just to have that release. But in life, we have to be like, okay, now I have to tame the beast.
Yeah.
Right now he's in straight savage mode.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He's in straight savage mode.
Look,
you got to tame it.
If you say he's a good guy, he's a good guy, because I know that you're a good judge of character, and you're my friend. You're always be my friend, and you're my friend. If I was homeless, you'd be nice to me, and if I was the fucking champ of the world, you'd be nice to me. You're a good person, so
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, like, and to be honest, there's a deep part of a lot of fighters that just is a savage. Yeah. And that's why fighting feels so good, is because you just allow the savage just to be. You allow it just to be, and just be uncaged. But some fighters can, after that 15 to 25 minutes when that fight's over, they can bottle it up and be like, all right, cool. Now I'll go on about my life and I'll play with that, another time. But some people just cannot turn it off, because success does that. Success brings it. It's another thing. It's a drug, Now, there's a lot to making this cocktail, this John Jones cocktail, So that's why I have sympathy for him.
Now, I heard you got offered $500,000 to do bare knuckle boxing. You turned it down. Is that true?
I don't know. I hear a lot of things too, man. But if they're trying to, I'm not trying to do no bare knuckle boxing, man. I mean, look, at the end of the day, I can't condemn it. You know what I'm saying? People do what they do, whatever the case may be. For God's sakes, I fought. You know what I'm saying? People look down on what I do. You know what I'm saying? So who am I to look down on another sport? I'm not that guy. But it goes back to what I was saying before. I've just lost the desire to fight.
Right.
Or to compete in that nature.
Of course.
You get what I'm saying? I just lost that desire.
Now I was wondering if if that was true, if you were offered the money. I was like, that's what I heard.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, I heard the same thing too, man.
He heard the same thing when they made him the offer.
Yeah, you heard that you were offered this money. Well, listen, Rashad Evans, you are fuck what John Jones says. You're always in my top 10. You're in my top 3.
My bad. So, my bad. Because you know what? Before that, you used to always put John Jones ahead of me. But he's not in my top 10. That's how you felt at the time.
No, he's in my.
I didn't bust your balls.
No. You're my number 1.
I appreciate you coming around.
I came around, bro. I came around.
You beat all my heroes. I came around too.
And you can sleep over my place anytime. You'll be the first black person to ever sleep over my place. And
I appreciate it.
I'm kidding. I spoke to Jamoki about that, by the way. And Jamoki was going to come on the podcast. I had 2.
You should have had Jamoki come, man. Listen. Honestly, we got to do some black people shit. Like, listen, I was at Playhouse the other day. A lot of black people. Hey, that right there would give you at least a year's worth of black people.
He went to do a show called Black People Shit, where he takes me to do black people shit.
Sounds great.
Yeah.
I think you should have.
First thing I got to do is leave my daughter.
Yeah.
So anyway, no. I'm just. Come on. It was a joke.
Big closer.
Oh my God. There you go. There you go.
It was a joke. It was a joke. You're a great father. Anyway, so Rashad,
Oh my God.
thank you for being on the show. We'll talk to you again soon, brother.
Hey, take care, bro.
Take care. All right. Look at you.
Rashad Evans, one of the best to ever do it.
Should I take that joke out?
No way.
Nah, it's too late. That was one of the best parts of the whole thing.
People
yeah.
know that I was kidding, right?
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna get fucking flagged.
It is what it is.
Your Instagram and
Can't
Twitter's
fucking
getting
turn to the left or
deleted.
turn to the right
All
anymore.
right, so we gotta call Ellenberger. You guys.
Okay, I have to go. I just wanted to tell you quick dates coming up.
Please do.
December 12th through the 16th, I'll be at the Stratosphere doing the LA Comedy Club, which I
Yep.
think you just came back from. Is that right?
I'm going there December on 24th to the 30th.
There you go. So I'll be there earlier in the month. And then the 21st, 22nd, 23rd, I will be in El Paso, Texas at the El Paso Comic Strip. And then the 28th, I'll be back in Vegas for the Dirty at 12:30. And then New Year's Eve, I'll be at the Admiralty Theater just outside of Seattle, Washington.
Nice.
For New
And
Year's
don't,
Eve?
don't you have a football podcast?
Yes, and my football podcast, Fantasy Football Harsh Reality, available on SoundCloud. Check it out. Or you can follow me on
Are there any
Instagram.
Greg Wilson t-shirts I can buy?
Nope.
All right, cool. Well, thank you.
Well, thank you, my man. Enjoy
Take
your
some-
final phone call, guys.
some
I gotta
speed on
go.
the way out. You gotta leave
Thank you,
too?
my man.
Oh, cool. All right, cool. Yes. Are you back smoking? Yeah, absolutely take some. Yes.
Can I take some speedweed too?
Yeah, are you smoking too?
Yeah.
Of course, guys.
All
Been
right.
on the road for a month with
There you go.
Mario.
You guys can
Yeah.
have my share. It's all good.
This is sweet.
Yeah.
Yes.
I like his edibles. I'll stay here, Adam.
Oh, they probably have edibles. Yeah. All right. See you guys. I got a bolt.
Take care. Thank you, Greg.
No problem, brother. It's fun.
Okay. All right. So Jake Ellenberger will be on the podcast next week because today he didn't pick up. So thank you to Rashad Evans. Thank you to Eryk Anders for being on the show, as well as my crew. You can see me this Friday night. I'm in Las Vegas at the House of Blues at 9:30, and then at the South Point Casino at 12:30. Then I'll be at the Laugh Factory in Hollywood at 11:45, and then December 25th to the 30th at the Stratosphere Hotel. Hit me up to get the guest list. LA Comedy Club, December 25th to the 30th. Also, if you shop on Amazon, go to adamhunter.com first, adamhunter.com, and then get whatever you need. Thank you guys so much, and take care.
Trap sons and trap dansen. Түүний сонсдог хөгжим дур булаан. Даадаж дуулан дур булаа мууруулаа.